What, me? Who?
Yeah. What was it?
What?
Hold on. I'm trying to see what I. There's a
Oh,
launching pad.
was it?
Something. Goddamn, I can't type right now.
Oh, was it something Oh, like the what
About
was
the
it?
no planning.
Today?
Well, it's something about like you were saying.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you said being mad with no plan does nothing productive. Absolutely. And
Yeah, I figured that could be a good
so
launching point to get the.
we don't have like a structure. I mean, like a lot of like so like I'm in this. So I'm in that like Twin Cities Geeks group, and they like fucking have been using this shit for like sort of like a revolution. I don't know, whatever the fuck they want to
Okay.
call it. It's a sort of what do they call it? Not revolution, but like
Just
a
City Watch.
resistance,
Yeah, City
fucking
Watch.
communicated form kind of thing.
Yeah. Like I
Like
said, a
so, like
City
they talk about
Watch.
where people protesting and so many other things, and yeah, I don't know. I got sort of annoyed at something somebody said. I forgot what it was. It's just something way overly emotional.
That's everybody.
Oh, it was about David Chappelle. It was about Dave Chappelle.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yep.
Yeah, dude, and it's like I first of all, like I get it, he's just a fucking entertainer, but like entertainers have value, and he's not just like a
It's suggestive.
one-sided.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah, exactly. These people just don't. They just want to, it's like the canceling fucking
so
impulse.
they
Like,
loved him when he's talking shit about trans and whatever else, but now that he's going to be talking shit about Trump
yeah,
because of all the shit going on, they fucking hate him again. That's most people now.
no, like this was a no, this was like just leftists or whatever, like
Oh,
that were
oh,
like, oh, he said bad things about trans people like
yeah. I'm
I
saying
don't know,
that's the
fucking
main
6
thing
years
people.
ago, wherever the fuck it is, or even if it's still like you people need to get the fuck over it.
True.
These people don't fucking understand. Like it seriously.
Also,
Think about it.
it's a
How much
losing
have you changed in thought about shit that you've done within the span of 6 years, right? And
tons.
like Dave probably doesn't want to like submit, to like
Also,
post
his
an
job is to
apology or
be a
whatever. Like he's
comedian.
probably moved on forever ago.
Well, I'm saying his job
Yeah.
is literally be a comedian, which means he's gonna talk shit. Because one of his shows, he's like, don't worry, guys. There's always gonna be one joke that fucking hits you. You're gonna get all pissed and mad and whatever. But get over it because the next joke will be about someone else, and you can laugh again. Like he
Yeah,
might
dude,
hit you
it's
with a
so
bullet, but guess what?
dumb.
He's gonna hit everybody
Right.
with a bullet. It's not just you.
But think about it. Okay, so exactly in the way he says that, like just even in the way he says that, there's a lack of the binary opposition. It's a whole field that's like the target. It
Yeah.
seriously the plurality versus binary opposition thing. It's very poignant.
Oh, I mean,
It's
I talked to my cook yesterday because he was super like, communism's this and all this shit. And I'm like, you're right. I agree with you, but like, you're gonna tell me that we can't like take parts of it, like the strong social safety net and this and this. Like, there's parts of it that are good, right? Like,
yeah. We
obviously, like
don't
the
have to
whole
have
ideology is.
totalitarianism.
Well, it's like you don't have to take the like I keep trying to stress people like you don't got to take the whole thing of it. You just pick and choose the parts that are work for you. Like,
Yeah.
if this part like because that's what I was trying to argue with them yesterday about. It was like capitalism's cool, but like you can't have unchecked capitalism, right? Like, and then we got a big old fucking.
Seriously, just
Uh,
doesn't it just need to be regulated like really in terms of like just just yeah, it just literally needs to be regulated,
well, yeah, I
like
mean,
not just financially, but like,
everything.
you know,
Well, like I say,
more
like
rights. That's it.
why
It's just
can't
simple.
like I said
More rights,
like I said
more freedom.
the people like fucking the WalMarts and Amazons and big companies like they should almost be forced to profit share, right? Like they make so much money, and all these people make so like. You're telling me they can't give all the workers $1,000, $5,000 extra bonus or whatever the fuck, Like, come on now.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. It is nutty, man. The view, okay, so like there's a word for the belief that capitalism is the only system that can possibly work, and that's called capitalist realism.
Oh, have you ever heard
And
of what is it? Georgism? Georgism? Have you
a
ever heard of?
long time ago,
Yeah, it's kind of like the blend of the two. It's a monetary like not capitalism. It's basically the blend of the two. It says known historically as a single tax movement, the economic ideology holds that persons should own the value that they produce themselves, while the economic rent derived from land, including all natural resources, the commons, and urban locations, should be equally to all members. So basically, everybody gets like
absolutely.
this size house, this size plot of land, and then what you do
Yeah.
with it after that is you. Like if you want to make it bigger or cooler, cool, earn it. But you should be able to. Everybody should be able to have like this plot of land as yours, and that's like the social aspect of it. Plus, it has the capitalistic. Where like okay, like we start everybody off equally, but once you're set up, then you can go, and it's yours.
Dude, it has flaws. Like it just simply
Sure, it
has
does.
flaws, and
I
people
mean,
that
this is
and
not perfect either.
we should try to solve the flaws, even if it's hard. Even if it's confusing, it's a lot of work.
For sure.
Like yeah, it does seem like, dude. Like I really do feel like a lot of people that are involved with politics, like it's very much an identity thing. Like
It's a big
identity
thing.
and identity and ideology. They're like the same thing. It's about their persona, right?
Oh, for sure.
Hi, Plato. Wait, what's your
Oh,
what's your real name?
are we on like a live thing where my voice is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that bad?
Well, I don't really want to say my real
Well,
name.
don't say that. We'll just call you Plato.
uh, yes.
Thank you.
The great philosopher Plato.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We were just talking. Have you ever heard
Call
of
me
the?
Ack,
Have you ever
or
heard of
short, if
the?
that's better.
Have you ever heard of the? What is it? Economic system called Georgism? Georgism. Plato.
No.
So I just found this out like 2 days ago. I was telling Brandon. Basically, it's a system. It's kind of like the blend between the capitalistic and socialist kind of system. So like basically everybody in the world or in your country or whatever, everybody gets a certain plot of land and a certain like the rights to the land and like the resources and all that shit. But after that, like anything you make extra, like if you want to make your house better or whatever the fuck, that's like the capitalist system. You can make it. You can work as hard as you want to make anything you want, but everybody's guaranteed like a plot of land, a house, of this, of this, this. Like your basic necessity shit.
But do you actually own it, or is it just given to you until your death?
I guess I don't know. It says I've just been starting to read. It says should belong equally to all members of society. To open the writings of economics, Henry George. Yeah,
There can't be like an inheritance that like sort of opens up the way for accumulated wealth or whatever power. But yeah,
It's unfortunate. We're heading into stakeholder capitalism is what we're heading into, which is
what is it?
Stakeholder capitalism.
Stakeholder. Okay. Yeah.
I think
what was I gonna say, dude?
Yeah,
like
people are gonna be too poor to even buy houses. That's the whole issue. And
yeah, I mean, you're only going to have
rich people own houses.
People think it's bad now. It's going to get far worse.
Sure,
it's going to get far worse.
See that. I mean, honestly, this last year,
I have a
I was telling people
good
this
concrete
last year,
eye on it.
85% of our GDP was just to build data centers. So like our economy is already collapsing. We're just being propped up by AI. Like if you get rid of AI, our
I don't even.
To what cost,
though? To the news.
What cost?
What was that?
At what cost, though? I mean, these data centers are going to deplete our water. Clean water.
I was just looking at like how much energy it needs to fucking run. It's like 300.
And for all the naysayers out there, just look into the 3M and all the stuff that they dumped into our water here in Minnesota and got away with it for
I know
so many years till the state of Minnesota sued them.
Yep.
But
and then it goes back to what
it wasn't until many people have died from rare forms of cancer.
That's what
because of the shit that
they're talking about. Basically, the problem with capitalism, especially when it's unchecked, is that you have people doing shit like that. Like people get mad at all the regulations that like why do we gotta regulate these? I'm like, well, because people do these things, right? Like if you didn't regulate sewage going into water, the companies would probably do it, right? Because that's what they were doing before. Because it's cheapest and easiest way to get rid of your shit. Like it's not hard.
Well, we've got a problem here. I signed out of my Snapchat account. Don't remember the login.
It's probably a good thing.
Had it since 2013, so there's a lot of like
history.
I mean, I've got photos of friends who have passed away, animals who have passed away.
Yeah, I mean, you can always get it back, right? I'm pretty sure. Can't you just request a new password?
I would have to remember what email it's connected to.
Yeah, sometimes that sucks. So
I made friends with this chick. She's cool.
I got it.
you got it now.
I'm a
Hell yeah.
genius. Yep.
So this Georgism is concerned with the distribution of economic rent caused by land ownership, natural monopolies, pollution rights, and the control of commons, including title of ownership for natural resources and other contrived privileges, i.e., intellectual property. So yeah, it kind of sounds like like if you had a house or something, and then all of a sudden they found oil, like you don't get to make all the oil money, right? Like that's like all of our oil, like the humanity's oil, or whatever kind of fuck kind of thing. I think that's kind of the system he's trying to get at.
Oh. Dude, it's fucking hot. Oh, I gotta open this window. What the fuck am I doing?
Well, because it's been fucking negative 100 degrees last month.
Dude.
10 degrees feels beautiful.
Mm-hmm. So weird, dude. Like I just go outside at work, jacket unzipped, hoodie unzipped. Just no problem. Love it.
I'm still shivering. I can't stand this weather.
What do we think of?
As I get older.
I'll say, what do we think of the FBI going in and taking the 2020 election from Georgia people and trying to rig the election? Probably.
Well, I don't know. How do you feel about the Department of Justice removing all the fucking files they released?
Oh, I know. Or they're redacting them and shit.
How about the fact that all of this is a fucking distraction from the fact that all of our leaders are complicit in a massive child sex trafficking ring?
Yep. The thing is,
with satanic rituals in which they force these children to kill each other.
Like I said,
Jesus Christ.
Both sides have fucking very powerful people on the list. That's the problem.
Both sides. It's not even the both. It's worldwide, baby.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even just here.
I will say,
so weird how the sex is such a fucking thing. Like you think about it though, right? Like these people get money.
It's power.
They're like. Or power, rather.
Power.
They're not
you
like.
You read that Robert Greene book, regardless of how you feel about Robert Greene. You read that book. These people play by that rule book. They are predators. They are psychopaths.
The psychology seems kind of obvious. True. Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly, and that's why. I mean, it's a narcissism, patriarchy, something else, sort of like gestalt.
48 laws of power. It's the 48 laws of psychopathy. Fucking capitalistic psychopathy.
I think it's definitely a sort of narcissistic thing. I don't know what it is that makes these people susceptible to this exactly. If it's just a brain thing, if it's being broken at a young age kind of thing. I don't know. I mean, really, I really gotta get into the head of these fucking people.
It's hard, man.
I don't understand psychopathy
Are you saying about
very
the
well.
people who are doing it? I mean, it kind of folds in on itself. You got people who have a general lack of empathy for others. They don't care about what they're doing.
Right. So it's like, yeah.
And then you have the people who may have cared at one point, but when you're beaten down so many times because you're a victim of sex trafficking and torture. I mean, this wasn't just like. I mean, all sex trafficking is bad, but this involved torture as well. I mean,
it's like shame and guilt cycling back in, or being reinforced by this shit, right? It's just a constant feedback loop.
Well, if you're sold off to these people when you're 10 years old, 12 years old, that's the only life you've known. And a lot of these children that were put into this, they were children that were in the foster care system to begin with. And this is my big problem with the foster care system. They got foster farming out there. Where these people are selling these children off to these big elites. And then if they don't get them there, they're getting them across seas in really poor countries where they're saying, we'll give you this money if you give us your child. And they get put into that shit.
I'll say, or it's fucking simple as like they were taking them from Mar-a-Lago, and then the other place they were taking them from is fucking Victoria's Secret with Leslie, whatever his name is. They're, even people from here, like the powerful people, they're the ones selling the kids too, or we're gonna call it like, oh, you can take this one doesn't matter, they're homeless or whatever.
Well, I'm in my 30s. I don't know how are you guys in your 30s as well?
Yep.
So do you guys remember when we were younger and you'd be driving by and it's like these little tiny political signs, you know, but instead of it being a political sign, it was to call this number for a modeling agency?
Yeah,
Do you guys remember that?
Oh,
Everywhere.
probably, yeah.
Fucking everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
How many of those children ended up part of this thing? Because we're only seeing a very, very small percentage of the investigation, and I'm sure there's much more beyond what they actually know that's happened as well.
Well, what we got right now is just the documentation per se, but yeah.
Well, I believe we did have up to 12 zip files that the DOJ has now.
It's supposed to be 3 million.
But there are people working that are data hoarders. That
I know. Well, as soon as they went up, I know certain people that fucking straight up just downloaded the whole files and they go through them.
Oh yeah, I got a good portion of 9 before they took that one back.
Did they get rid of the fucking the whatever? Okay, no, I found it. It's so much though. It's so fucking much. Did they get rid of the fucking
so I don't want to fuck with all any of that.
Did they get rid of the type of name in search bar thing?
I don't think I ever used that, so I don't know.
Where? On Discord or what?
No. The Department of Justice website. The Epstein
files.
You can click the Epstein files, and then you can look up like Clinton. It'll show you like the 1,000 pages he's there, or whoever, you know.
Yeah. There's also issues, and they purposely spelt people's names wrong as well.
My favorite thing is
in these documents.
My favorite misinformation shit that I've been seeing is Obama was on there 1,000 times and shit. It's like, yeah, you know, Obama was on like 999 of them were Trump talking shit.
He was on there 10,000 times more. Well, your leader in chief, motherfucker.
No, I already know that, but I'm saying, but like even the 1,000 times Obama was on there, it was 999 of them were fucking Trump talking shit about him in a newspaper article. So it was like not even like related to the thing. It was Trump's article, so he was talking shit about Obama.
Shut up.
I mean, they're just comparing to deflect at this point. Yeah, we can agree that most presidents since ever are capitalist terrorists. I mean, we're war criminals and imperialists.
Yep. I read the People's History of the United States when I was like
over people. 18. So fuck them.
Yep. What do we do? What's the plan?
What do we do? Well, I think the best you can do is we all need to disconnect from the system.
Yeah,
it's
we
clearly
need
not serving us anymore.
Well, for me, yeah,
we need to decentralize.
So what all started was me and Brandon were talking about basically like it's one thing to be mad. We can all be mad and get upset, or whatever. But like if you don't have a plan or a course of action, your anger is not going to actually change anything.
I'm worried about the same fucking like structure or architecture, the same like ideological like pattern emerging from like any so-called revolution. You know what I mean? So I'm worried about it just being stupid people who are emotionally charged, not anybody who wants to.
If you look into history, you're talking about basically the French Revolution. So
like. I will tell you right now, like I'm definitely more on the side of like the Chinese fucking
there are
integration.
Going to be people who revolt against this government, and there is going to be civil unrest, and there's going to be unrest beyond that because people are getting increasingly more poor, and people are getting desperate, and they're put into survival mode, which means crime is going to go up.
Yep.
We have so many guns available to us in this country that.
Things are escalating because
just a matter of time before things get really bad in all cities in America.
We need some. I don't know who can we even rely on in terms of.
I think that we need to disconnect peacefully.
Yeah,
and we need to go into intentional communities and break from the system that is no longer serving us but hurting us because it has become so centralized that we are feeding into the same mouth through everything.
Yep.
A lot of people are moving into intentional communities and creating their own source of income that is not dependent on these big systems.
Oh, dude, I need to find this shit.
Intentionalcommunities.org.
Okay. Yep. Any around Okay.
Minnesota, I think I only had seen a few. I don't think there's any that are actually established.
Okay, yeah.
Many
so
are
like,
in the works, but I'm still looking into it.
St. Louis Park.
There's a lot of developed ones are on your coast, like California, where people have been kind of disconnecting for a long time because of the regulation pretty much gridlocking them away, because especially in Southern California, where people can't survive unless they make, a lot of money.
I could literally put all my shit in a U-Haul and fucking head out there. That would be fucking great. I don't have enough money yet, though.
California, fuck yeah. Yeah. If I could afford it, that would be a cool place to go.
Just say fuck all my debt and just.
Well, you also have to look into like California, South Carolina, North Carolina, Portland. All of those are going to be part of mega cities that they're putting in the World Economic Forum. So those are all going to be very tightly run entities. So you either opt into that lifestyle or you are disconnected.
If the data centers are up somewhere, they're going to be fucking keeping an eagle eye on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I just want to know how does philosophy become relevant? Because that's the fucking problem, is whoever's the main driving force of these conversations and debates and so on and so forth, they're not, they don't have a philosophical.
I wish we could go back to fact based, like, oh, here's actual evidence and facts, like,
yeah, cause it's all happening so fast too.
Well, that's kind of the MAGA movement's thing. They throw 100 things at the wall, so you only catch 2, so 98 get through, right? Like,
well, yeah, and then like
I would say that's both sides. I would say that's been both sides since the internet, to keep us distracted so that they can keep playing with their global games that put everybody at risk.
So they can fucking have sex with teenagers. Or what, even younger? Like, what the fuck is wrong with these people, dude? Like,
let's just say have sex with children.
No values with children. Yeah. Like, I don't understand that mindset, dude. It's like, I don't even want to put myself there. Because if you put yourself there, you just fucking feel weird.
How many people, just regular politicians and shit, become, they're becoming pedophiles and shit? Like, it's just, it's wild. I don't know. It must
I guess it has
to be something to do with power, like that power addiction.
Yeah.
The adrenaline.
I mean, because they're not gonna go seduce somebody, on their own. So it's like these guys have always had their sexual shit has always been structure related, right? Or money related. It's never been their character getting them laid. They're not. Yeah. Ugh. Fucking ridiculous. I'm fucking sick of these people. Fucking scum.
And again, so like, even with like
false
even with the
humans.
Politics is entertainment for ugly people. That's all it is.
Since 1980, after the Fairness Doctrine ended. Stupid. But I was gonna say,
it's been around.
How is it not illegal to redact like people's names in the email when they're not like the actual fucking kids, or or we're gonna call it the victims? Like, isn't that kind of the point of releasing these documents? Is
fucking ridiculous.
Epstein emailed this person, and this.
What's illegal when you don't follow the law anyway?
We should be in the fucking streets, fucking dragging them fucking out of their. Dude, it's fucking sordid. Ridiculous. But they just have power.
We're too distracted.
Yep. Yep.
In general,
and I'm guilty of it too. I mean, I'm sitting on my ass at home.
They also have really big guns. That's always another.
But we have to regulate ourselves and find stability, like stable regulation, for us to be effective. So, like, yeah.
The only way to disarm them at this point is to stop feeding our money to them, and that would be to disconnect from the big thing and start working in intentional communities and working with each other.
I kind of have that as a goal now because, I'm living at my mom's house, It's like, I want to get the fuck out of here. And I would be put to good use.
That's how life was, though.
Yeah.
I mean, truly, people.
Right, yeah.
And that's the other thing. Like, even you talk to people in different countries and stuff like that, most people don't move out of their parents' house till they get married. It's just not feasible.
It's an ideology thing. That's all it is.
And most people,
so I can prove that I'm useful.
They're usually renting.
It's literally, dude. It's the way that I see it. American culture is fucking all about a performative dominance. And it's always been related to having a material advantage or like a social advantage. It's not about essence in any way whatsoever. All fucking Western culture or American culture is signaling to sort of show like this is how good I am. You know what I mean? Like, and the whole system through which we signal is the whole thing that we absorb and signal through is basically just bullshit. That's Lacan's symbolic order. Ideology, hierarchy, all the shit. It's all lies, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's all tribalism.
Like, we are basically in the period.
Here, have you guys ever read the 48 Laws of Power?
I have not. What 48
All right,
Laws
let me
of
just
Power?
go
I didn't understand the meme, so I didn't.
By Robert Greene.
So I think it'll put into perspective why these motherfuckers work the way they work. I mean, it's literally, this is their playbook. This is how to be a piece of shit in the 21st century. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
So law number 1, never outshine the master. 2, never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. 3, conceal your intentions. 4, always say less than necessary. 5, so much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life.
Yep.
6, court attention at all cost. 7, get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. 8, make other people come to you. Use bait if necessary. 9, win through your actions, never through argument. 10, infection, avoid the unhappy and unlucky. 11, learn to keep people dependent on you. 12, use selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim. 13, when asking for help, appeal to people's self-interest, never to their mercy or gratitude. 14, pose as a friend, work as a spy. 15, crush your enemy totally. 16, use absence to increase respect and honor. 17, keep others in suspended terror, cultivate an air of unpredictability. 18, do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Isolation is dangerous. 19, know who you're dealing with. Do not offend the wrong person. 20, do not commit to anyone. 21, play a sucker to catch a sucker. Seem dumber than your mark. 22, use the surrender tactic. Transform weakness into power. 23, concentrate your forces. 24, play the perfect courtier. 25, recreate yourself. 26, keep your hands clean. 27, play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. 28, enter action with boldness. 29, play all the way to the end. 30, make your accomplishments seem effortless. 31, control the options. Get others to play with the cards you deal. 32, play to people's fantasies. 33, discover each man's thumbscrew. 34, be loyal in your own fashion. Act like a king to be treated like one. 35, master the art of timing. 36, disdain things you cannot have. Ignoring them is the best revenge. 37, create compelling spectacles. 38, think as you like, but behave like others. 39, stir up waters to catch fish. 40, despise the free lunch. 41, avoid stepping into a great man's shoes. 42, strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. 43, work on the hearts and minds of others. 44, disarm and infuriate with the mirror effect. 45, preach the need for change but never reform too much at once. 46, never appear too perfect. 47, do not go past the mark you aimed for. In victory, learn when to stop. 48, assume formlessness. It's literally how to manipulate people.
Sure.
That is what this book is. That is what Robert Greene studied is how these powerful people operate and how much of a fucking meaningless piece of shit you are to them.
I mean, this has been the playbook for fucking ever, though. Like, none of this is new, though, in a sense.
Just losers that hold power because they are better at lying and fucking annihilated anything that's actually in the inside, anything that might reveal anxiety.
It's what it rewards.
Exactly. Yep. Performative dominance. So they kill everything that's inside so they can receive external rewards, which is
and then you get into it deeper and you're like, okay, so all these things are psychopathic, right? And anything, if a whole thing is operating like this, like a whole society is operating like this, you would think that at some point people would break. Well, not if they're on antidepressants. Not if most of them are on antidepressants or anti-anxiety medications that keep them at bay in a sick society. And when they're told that they're the problem and not the society.
That's part of it. I think being poor in a ultra capitalistic society is the main drive of a lot of the mental disorder. Like
it's mostly a social thing, though. It's like a social thing, because yeah. Like, I can't find a girlfriend.
Instead of fixing the actual problem, they say you're the problem. And now we're going to capitalize off of your problem.
Yep.
I'm not saying that people don't need these things to stay alive in our sick society. What I'm saying is there is a reason why our society is sick.
It's like anything. It's levels to this shit. Like, you're not supposed to just be fucking straight evil no matter what. Like, you can have, like, down times or, whatever, but to make that like
you've been raised in a society to believe that if you're not outputting things for other people, if you're not making the money, if you're not making money, if you're not gaining and happy and whatever all the time, that you're failing. And that's just not the truth of reality.
Yep.
Life is happiness is an emotion. It comes and it goes.
Yep.
And Instagram is a 30-second clip, not even, of people's perfect little lives that don't exist.
Yep, exactly.
The whole thing about life, the best thing you can do is just be consistent. If you can be consistent, you'll have less big swings up and big swings down. Because that's what I think that's what people get so depressed about. Because they get so high, and then like 2 days later, they might be like, I want to kill myself. Like, you should probably try to find somewhere in the middle, not have such big mood swings on this, every day or every other day. So.
Yeah, dude. Shit. I don't know what to say. It's just, we don't have a real world. We need a real world somehow.
Yeah. Like I said, my big thing is I just don't think we live in the same reality, and it's hard to get people to agree on anything if we don't live in the same reality. Like, we can watch a dude get shot and killed by ICE, and then people still try to be like, he was wrong. It's like, how the fuck can anybody watch this and come to that conclusion? Like, it literally makes no sense to me. Like, you could
absolutely not, because they can't, because they cannot admit to themselves that the world they're living in is like something that they shouldn't support. You know what I mean? Because just follow the whole escalatory chain.
What control do I have over that?
What control?
That's what most people think. They give up before.
Yes.
Sure,
that's everybody else's problem thing, right? Because if all of us have that attitude, we're fucked.
Mm-hmm.
And then the West has also demonized pain. So a lot of us are, and this is a hot take, but a lot of us think that life shouldn't involve pain, and life is pain. I'm sorry.
Yeah, for sure.
To live is to suffer is to live.
Well, yeah, man.
That is what Viktor Frankl said, and I fully believe that, because if you want to get anywhere in life, you're going to have to suffer a little bit.
Sure. 50 Cent says that joy wouldn't feel so good if it wasn't for pain. Like, if you only lived in a good world, you would never have a good life, because you have.
It's like we start out resenting suffering. You know what I mean? Like, instead of just, it's almost like a stain to our character before it's, or I don't know. It's hard to say about suffering in general, but it does seem like it's multiplicative, right? Under certain contexts.
Well, I think you need to have some version of suffering / pain, because, again, like, in order for you to grow, like, because if you just had the
part of the human experience,
your life would just be the same over and over and over, like, and that's not good. Even like, It's not a fulfilling.
Well, haven't you've met kids, I'm sure, that have grown up in homes where they haven't had to lift a finger and stuff like that, and how much they struggle when they do lose.
Sure. Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. But because the thing is,
catastrophic.
It stops you from growing and getting better. Because if you rely on everybody else, well, guess what? You don't have to give a fuck about learning.
Because you never learned how to deal with adversity.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of it is the shame, like just the shame shame of being provisional or like doing something for the first time, right? Like I had problems with that shit.
Well, it's shame because you don't want to fuck up. Nobody wants to fuck up. I mean, everyone has that.
Yeah.
And I get it to an extent.
But it's like never the end of the world because people look at it as like a forever stain on their character.
Well,
like
when you look at these kids too that are growing up where when they do fuck up, it's all recorded.
In today's world, yeah.
For everybody to see at all points.
But the thing is that fuck up should only last, maybe a week or, like not that long. Like, and then you move on. And
it does.
Next time you do it, you get better. You improve. And then guess what? When they film it again, now you fucking can show them how you did it. Like, guess what? Boom. You see how much better I got? Like that should be the mentality that people have, but they don't. They dwell on the negativity. Like, oh, I failed and I'm a failure. Everything sucks. This is, like. And I get it. I mean, everyone has those feelings, but again,
people also on the internet are a lot more ruthless than what they would be in because there's no social connection there, right? So they may be focusing on the negative, but vast majority of comments you get on the internet are negative.
Sure.
Because people are nasty, and they're mean and they're vindictive.
Insecure. They're just insecure, and they don't realize they don't want to admit they're insecure. It's all a mask of insecurity, and the system produces insecurity in us. And a lot of it is like a Dunbar number thing too, and like binary opposition, and because it promotes opposition. It doesn't promote plurality. It's and it is literally all nervous system dysregulation, like all of it. What's up, dude? It's been a while.
Yeah, shit playing Outriders.
Outriders? Oh, don't think I've ever
We're kind of balls deep in how disgusting the entire system is and how fucked everything is, and maybe how fucked everybody is.
Sure. I'm more, like I said, my thing is, I'm getting to like I said, where me and Brandon started. We can be angry, yes, but we gotta formulate some plans, or so we can start spreading some messages out on any kind of social media, and hopefully get some people, and we can try to build a kind of a movement like that, because that's the only way to do it. Like, bitching about things doesn't change anything, like, for real. And even if you do change it, you're not going to have a plan set in stone, so that's what you're going to go right back to what you were doing, because that's what everybody knows. Like, it's going to be that kind of situation. I was going to say, it's like going back to the French Revolution. I was saying, if you look at history, that's why they failed. They had a revolution, but it was ran by dumbos that had no actual idea. So when they actually have power, they're like, what do we do? I have no clue. And they went literally right back to the system they were in, because that's comfortable.
Well, I think that's where organization is really important, right?
Sure.
So those people that are out there may be dumb, but they're the ones that are going to do.
Sure.
They're the ones that are going to do this.
They're your pawns in a game of chess. Like, sure, they have a purpose, and they have, and it's important. I'm not saying it's not important, but you still need the king and queen back there to fucking tell you, like, hey, man, go up 2. Hey, this one, go cross. You do this. Like, you need that, because if you don't, then you're just running around the chicken with his head cut off. Like, oh.
Most people are basically asleep in like reductionist fucking dreams, right? Like, it's like just following narrow pathways through the mind. Pretty much it. Avoiding center, avoiding because like center, or like when you're centered and regulated, present, authentic, whatever the fuck you want to call this. It seems like all these things line up at the same place. And you're not. It's like you do kind of have access to the whole, because everything converges upon this center point, whatever the fuck that is. People, like to,
balance. Yeah.
Give it, the people like to talk about the pineal gland as this, like that was the old Descartes idea. Who knows where that? I mean, to me, it's just like a void where there is no meaning necessarily. And meaning is defined by transition between one piece of information and another, basically. But there's, for me, I felt meaning.
Like it was, I can acknowledge all things. I can acknowledge them, but they don't knock me off my base, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yep, basically
you
what I'm
have a
saying.
center balance, so no matter which way the worldly things pull you, have that.
Exactly. Yep. That's basically
But
it.
it's
You always
really
have to be
hard to
aware
stay in
of.
that mindset when you're being oppressed.
Yeah, but we have to try, and yeah, I know.
We
like,
have to, but
as a
you,
dude,
we
being
can say
stoic is
that
so
comfortably
easy,
because
but
you have a meal on your
easier.
table tonight.
People have been oppressed forever though, and there's been many
Yep.
generations of people who have made changes even though they're depressed. Like
Mhm.
the whole Civil Rights Act, like black people were more oppressed than
Yep.
anybody, legitly, and they were able to fucking band together, come up with a plan, have organizations. So when they do their marches, when they do their shit, it's for a purpose, not just
But how many people died in that process?
lots. I mean, but that's what it's going to take.
Yeah.
That's the problem when you have.
But that's kind of what I'm saying. We're not even in, I would say we've barely even touched the tip of the iceberg.
Well, no, people. The thing is, it's the whole the Roman thing. If people have breadcrumbs and circuses, they won't revolt, kind of thing. So as long as people are fed and people have entertainment, they don't care. Like it's no big deal.
Yeah,
Well, with
that's
this whole
Nietzsche's
AI
last
and
man.
companies laying off mass amounts of employees, they're going to have a lot of people who are going to be on the streets, and that's when they're going to have to watch their backs.
I mean,
Yeah.
my thing I always say is we got to get to a UBI. When that actually truly happens, there has to be a UBI system. I don't know how or what, but that's
well, the World Economic Forum working on a UBI, but I fundamentally disagree with a UBI.
I mean, in general, I would, but my whole point is if robots legitly take over all the fucking jobs, you have to have people. Thing is, what are robots going to make stuff for if people aren't even buying it? Like, if you don't have money to buy it, like they can make all the cookies and shit, but you still need a consumer. People need to have money in order to even buy the goods that people need. You know, like so there has to be some kind of system when this happens.
Yes, if that's what their goal still is to sell to us as consumers, yes. But if they don't see us as
I mean, I get
worthy of anything,
sure, but I guess then how would they be rich? I mean, that'd be my, like if nobody's buying their goods.
Well, before they were held by like labor, right? They need laborers,
Sure.
they need people to work in the system to create the money, but now they don't need that. They just have robots that can that will be able to provide them with the things that they need. So essentially we're useless, completely useless, mouths to feed to them. So I think that a lot of this civil unrest is being led by, and this is where it's going to get a little conspiracy theorist, but I do think that it's being led by the World Economic Forum in a way to destabilize the world so that they can come in and say, look at us, we've got this great plan. We're gonna put in meta cities. We're gonna give you UBI. It's gonna be this nice little fresh ticket. But part of that is you're selling, in my opinion, you're selling your soul at that point.
Yeah.
Because in order to operate within these meta cities, in order to operate within this UBI, to work under a social system like that, you would need to be compliant with them. And you're giving so much power to people who don't care if you are alive.
It's lovely.
Mm-hmm. That's why I think we really need to focus less on revolting and more on exiting.
I absolutely agree. Like a left turn, straight up. Like don't stop following the narrative. Make our own narrative.
Well, the thing is, I mean, where are you going to go? Because everybody's ran by the World Economic Forum. So, I mean, only places you really legitimately can go is like Iran and North Korea, and those aren't places I ever want to fucking be. So,
well, no, I'm saying you stay here. You find groups, you find intentional communities that have land, or you plan on buying land, and you become self-sustainable within that community itself.
I mean, I get that in theory, but
that should be so fun too.
My point is, like, even if the house I own, the bank owns it, right? Like, I technically don't own it. Like, when I die or whatever, like, it's gonna go to the bank. Like, I still don't own this land. So like, how are anybody gonna own any land, even in that hypothetical world? Because the bank's gonna be like, oh,
the stakeholder capitalism. You will have to put your land in a trust.
I don't know.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have to put your land into a trust, and that trust will be what you won't own it. Your company that you put under that trust will own it, because private property will be no more by 2030.
I think that's too soon, but
at least that's if the globalist agenda goes the way that they want it to. It'll be 2030.
Happen. I mean, it has to be. They have like almost 1 billion robots for that to happen.
Like almost everything I see on the internet from people.
Land? I mean, they're already doing it.
No, I'm saying to the point where people can't work. Like when 1 billion jobs are lost worldwide, like that's an unemployment rate worldwide of like 18%. That's you can't, like, nobody can live off that world, right? Like,
no.
Yeah.
There's a certain percentage of people, a small percentage of people that aren't in some sense compromised. I feel like, you know what I mean?
People are compromised.
I don't know what that percentage is. Yeah, in a sense, like as in they can just be pulled back into the system, or they'll never leave the system. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know. It all depends. See, like, this is why I think presence is so important. Presence and resonance, because it really, I think, helps people open up their own realizations. You know, if you're presenting what you're saying and actually believing it confidently, not being an asshole, so on and so forth, you can be very persuasive, I think, about like philosophical subjects.
I get what you're saying, but the problem is that you got to get the person on the other side has to be open to reciprocating and taking away all their prejudgments and their cognitive biases and shit. Like.
Yeah, that's pretty hard.
That's the issue, because I can show
because a lot of it's identity based. It's protection. Correct. It's all protective.
That's what I'm
basically.
Saying. It's groupthink. It's whatever you want to call it. Like, there's so many little phrases you could call it, but yes, it's all these things. That's the issue. It's hard to get people to relearn what they've learned. Like I said, I deconstructed from. I listened to people argue about Bibles and the philosophy behind it and shit, and that got me thinking about other things. But like, I'm not like most people. I think it's fun to learn, but like, to get people on mass scale to be like, you know what, I thought this. Let me just be like objective or like open. Let me just listen to a couple people talk about the points, and then let me look into the points and come up with a new conclusion. That's what we need more of, but it's fucking damn near impossible to get people to think that way.
Mm-hmm. Critical thinking is not a skill anymore.
I tell people all the time, like, honestly, whenever someone tells you a fact or whatever the fuck, like, if people were better at treating it like the scientific method, where you literally just go, all right, here, the person said this, that's the hypothesis, let me find the evidence, let me do this, here's my conclusion. Like, if you just thought of things like that instead of like we're talking about, like, letting your emotions take over, like, emotionally this feels wrong, and so blah blah blah, like, why are we letting immigrants take our money? Well, it feels bad, right? Like, sure, but like, have you ever thought about it more than one level? Like, how much good they do and how much this and this, like, like, I think that's the big problem, is that people just are so emotionally driven by their ideology of whatever the fuck they think. Like, like, think about, like, how many people have
they're worried about millions of dollars when you got billions of dollars being funneled by these motherfuckers at the top.
Sure.
That are keeping us poor.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the average person. Like, I'm saying, like, the people at my bar, like, why do they follow, though? Like, what keeps them still consuming?
They are not confident in their own judgment. They think they're not.
That's why they hang out at bars.
So, like, the ice people shit, right? Like,
well, that, and if you keep yourself in a state of like heightened survival mode, you're not thinking beyond that.
I get that.
People like simple answers. That's why people fall into these categories. They like simple, even though life is nuanced. They want simple answers.
I think a lot of people are just overly worked and tired. Like, I would say, like, if I were to work 9-10 hours a day, I'm not going to come home and read a 25-page paper on science or whatever the fuck, because I'm tired as fuck, right? So, like, but again, this is where, like, we should hold media people and these people accountable. Like, if you're lying and we can literally catch you lying, like, you should either be like suspended from fucking doing news for like a month or two, or outright being fired or something. Like, there should be. It's kind of like the whole thing with like ICE. Like, people bitch about ICE and shit. Like, the thing is, I don't care about like ICE, like what they're doing. There's ways of doing it, cool. But like, the main thing I always push for is accountability. We push for accountability with cops and with all these people. why are we not pushing for accountability on what ICE is doing? Like, when they do something wrong, they should be held accountable, just like anybody else. You know, like, that's the whole idea. Like, it's not about fucking whatever else, you know? Fuck.
Yeah, like, we have all these shoulds that are obvious, but they're just, you know, not in place. Yeah. I don't know. Because because whoever, you know, yeah, we all already know. Yep, because they don't give a fuck. Yep.
Like, we just watched Kristi
They use
Noem.
ideology to gaslight us.
Sure,
it's all gaslighting.
After the dude got shot and killed, we literally watched Kristi Noem and Bovino literally go like, this guy went there to fucking cause mass murder and this, like, outright just blatantly lie. And my problem is, nothing happens to them. Like, we don't get like, none of them have to step down. None of them have to like.
The more the truth,
and that should come from
us. See, like
the defamation.
Truth is obvious, and the you know, and then the lie gets bigger, right? The bigger the truth is, the more clear the truth is, the more the bigger the lie gets.
The Hitler quote: "The bigger the lie, the more people believe it." Right? Like, it's.
God damn it! I can't fucking believe this shit. Like, it pisses me off that these fucking losers
just piss me off
just get to ruin our world.
It pisses me off because, like I said, people should know their history. Like, honestly, like, it wasn't, history class wasn't that hard, people.
And
like,
3M as well. 3M can go to hell.
I'm just saying, but
it's
like,
fucking so it's like survival mode bullshit. Just fuck these people. Yeah, it's like House of Cards on crack, dude. I would literally take Kevin Spacey over any of these motherfuckers.
You know, the thing is with, like, House of Cards, like, you know, that's like probably like 5% true, which that show's really bad, right? So even 5% of it is true. That's probably not good, right?
Yep.
You know, all these shows are based on some reality.
It's oh my god. Yeah. I mean, it is just everything's just so blatantly fucking obvious, and it's so hard to just live in a world where nobody sees it. Like, how? Not nobody, but
well, it's like that one.
The vast majority.
One meme thing. It says like, you know, like out of my tax money this year, you know, like 500 went to SpaceX, 200 went to the DoD. And then my $1.80 went to the illegal immigrants. Like, I always tell people, like, you guys are all bent out of shape for like $8. Like, this whole like we gotta get rid of everybody.
Absolutely.
Do all these horrible things.
Yep.
It's for $8, $9. Like. All your money.
Yeah, exactly. 100,000%.
Bitching about the Minnesota paid leave.
Mm-hmm. People are
the fucking dollar that's coming out of their checks, and they're all bent out of shape about it. And they're like, and somehow they relate it back. Somehow the most brilliant of them relate it back. I'll bet it's just going to the Somalians. Yeah, you thought real hard about that one, didn't you, Jimmy?
Even then, but like I tell people, like, oh, I'm losing money on my check. I'm like, but my argument always to them is like, yeah, but are you going to get something out of it? You're going to get to take work off and get paid for it. So like, even though you're paying more in taxes, you are actually getting something out of it.
The nuclear families died, and then they were like, we're gonna give you paid leave so that you can actually be a mom or a dad.
Sure.
And they're like, what?
Yeah, man.
Can't do that.
Oh, I know. I mean, I've heard all the people like,
no, bro.
People are gonna go on fucking take it for like 12 weeks, 13 weeks. Like, some will. I'm not saying there's not gonna be zero, but okay.
Like, better than your fucking CEO.
Mel, what the fuck?
Break on their goddamn yacht.
Again, my point is, I'm paying a tax for something, and I'm gonna get something out of it. I'm gonna get work off and get paid for it first time in my fucking life. So like, I don't see how that's a net negative. That's why I always get confused. Like, if I paid taxes and it literally went to nothing, then I might be pissed. But like, I'm literally getting something out of this deal.
Corporations use our media to bring propaganda that makes us believe that we need to kiss ass to the elites and suffer in order to be worthy of something. Also, we can make it to retirement and then die of cancer a year later.
Sure. I mean, that's part of it. I would say that was a nice thing about Waltz that people hate Waltz or whatever, but like Waltz is like a politician for like 20 years and he's only worth like $200,000. Like
and guess who he hasn't accepted money from? Israel.
Sure.
Well.
I know. I'm just saying my point is that just fucking this guy is literally like the least corrupted person. Like, we can literally see him not fucking taking money. And people like, oh, he's a piece of shit. It's like, no, he's actually one of the few good ones that you could see that didn't take bribe money and shit like that, you know? Like,
exactly. That's why I like him. He's honest.
Are any of you guys in the dating field right now?
No.
Fuck no.
Really?
I've been with my chick for like 12 years, 13 years.
I don't, dude. There's like
it's like you
nobody. Yeah, it just makes no
brainless
sense.
and brainless.
I feel bad for
Yep.
women dating
TikTok
right now.
brain.
Yep.
If you gotta try to find
I mean, there's
if you're finding a red pill dude right now, dude, that's gotta be like the worst feeling in the world right now.
usually you
either
see an
red pilled
intelligent
or
woman,
completely
and yeah,
oblivious to what's going on in life.
Dude, red pill
yep,
people
basically,
wanna go back
like
to,
they don't,
they
yeah,
wanna go back to fucking 1800 fucking man rule everything. Like that's the whole idea.
Mm-hmm.
And then they sit there and they try to convince me that women didn't want to vote.
I know. They
All right.
always say that.
Yep,
same
you're
shit.
right. We never wanted to have a voice. You're right.
Yep, the woman.
yeah, it's ridiculous, dude.
Right.
Because they're all thinking from their perspective. They're like, I would never treat a woman like that. I would never do something like that.
Sure.
That doesn't mean that all of you wouldn't do that. I mean, have you met your fellow man?
Yeah, I mean.
And it's same with women. Like, what if women wanted to take away all of men's voices? Like, just because a few women think that they can lead well doesn't mean all women can lead well. It's the same vice versa.
It's just people, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People suck. People are good. It is what it is. The whole thing is that they want to go back to where the man is the one vote. Like this, everybody in my house votes how I vote, whatever I think or feel. Like that's the world.
Oh, I hate that.
It's a dumb fuck. Again, this is the 1800s.
Absolutely fucking retarded. just yep, exactly. Just simple shit to get things, from point A to point B, more or less. That's what I feel like.
It's all organization. See, it makes sense because now it's going to be more universal, more organized. Guess what? We don't have to worry about 1 billion people's voices. We don't have to worry about 100 million people's voices. We can control them.
And you get the bifurcated perspectives, kind of like what she was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like people just have their perspective, and they just never arrive at the other perspective. Somehow, it's just too hard. How? Like, how are people just put so little effort into thinking, and anything that isn't their little sensory adventure in life. And it is just, I mean, it's system related, of course, but they just don't see it.
Another bad thing that's happened in today's world is like the clip culture. Like, because I've seen buddies at the bar, like, watching little clips, like whatever podcasts or whatever the fuck, little debates and shit. And they're like, look at this shit. And, it's like a 10-second clip. And like, I've seen like the whole 2-3 hours of like, and I'm sitting there like, did you see the rest of it? Like, no, you're just watching the 10-second clip and you think that this person lost the whole thing. Like, no, if you'd watched the 3 hours, for the other fucking 2 hours or 58 minutes, they were getting demolished, right? Like, you don't even know. But like, because of clip culture, it's all just 10 seconds. If I can make you look really stupid in 10 seconds, I win. It doesn't matter if I lost the other fucking 2 hours. I think that's another. Like I said, I think everything honestly stems.
I call it TikTok brain.
Sure, I'm just saying, but everything stems from just straight up misinformation. Like,
oh yeah,
like that's the biggest. That's always what I try to push. The biggest thing that I care about is just misinformation, because you can watch it happen, and the thing is, you can call it out, and nobody fucking cares. It's like, why do you not care that you're being lied to, like blatantly, openly, straight to your face? You just don't give a fuck. That baffles me.
Man, all I know is, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to look at this all as like a miserable thing. I want to look at it all as an adventure.
We also got to get back to the point where we got to come up with some, like I said, some like ground movement. Like I said, we got to come up with like a plan where all of us, like our separate social media shit, could spread like a similar message and try to get people on like the same kind. Like I said, it takes.
We got to find a way to like worm our way into some kind of into a platform. Like we need. Sure. We need to make communication with people that are.
But that's my big thing is we need a universal message. We can't go with if Brandon has his own fucking ideas and I have my own ideas and everyone has their own ideas. Like I said, if we ever were to win and have power, whatever the fuck you want to call it, nothing's gonna change. We're gonna go right back to what we're doing because we don't have no actual fucking plan.
I think a post-Marxist approach is best, but it's not really a good label for everybody,
No. Damn commies.
Some kind of libertarian leftism, libertarian socialism of some sort. That's always been my approach, dude. Like I never wanted the whole state socialist transition to a stateless, classless society. Like I
sovereign citizens.
Just freedom.
Well,
straight freedom. I like the anarchist approach, direct action and shit too. Yeah.
I was trying to equate to. I'm just like a center left, like or liberal, whatever you want to call it, because like I'm liberal. Like I want people to have as many rights as anybody should.
You're pragmatic for sure. You're very pragmatic.
But in general, I'm saying like my idea is to like this person made a good point. It's basically like I try to give everybody a limited amount of freedom, and I go, all right, which things should we take away? Like, you probably shouldn't have the right to murder. Okay, let's take that away. Click. Like, you should have this right. Click. Like, but everybody should have the same rights up to a point, right? Like we.
Yeah. I gotta go pick up weed, but I'll be right back.
All right, brother. But yeah, like.
Funny timing
Always
there.
the same with them.
What up, Patrick?
What's up, y'all?
Yeah. If you can't tell, we're talking about the shit going on, and then the broader theme is, like I said, we got to get to a unified message or something. Like it's like that's what me and Brandon were talking about on Facebook earlier. Was basically like, because I told him like, being mad with no plan is not going to be productive. Like, you can be mad, like, cool, like we all understand these things suck, but like, if we don't have a unifying message to counter it, well, it doesn't really matter that we hate it. Like that whole idea.
Yeah, we've talked about that in the past too. The unifying message that's always been extremely powerful and important. Now we use this fancy term called sloganeering or slogan engineering, but that I do worry about too, because we can use AI to do that very well, and that means that people that are trying to make bad narratives and spread bad messages like that can also make them sound very concise and very powerful, very sentimentally evocative, and yeah. So that means we got to be even much more creative. We got to make better counter narratives. Keep at it.
Yeah. And then, yeah, just trying to fucking, and then also we're just talking about trying to get people. How do you break down tribalistic basically thinking? Like that's always the key. Like like we all have our preconceived notions on whatever we think and believe, but like I think everybody should get better at being like, I wish someone would just test it. Like, if I actually research into this for a while and do whatever, will my thought process continue the same?
Well, I think the main problem here is that we do not have a single agreed upon definition of reality.
Mm-hmm.
Well, of course.
I agree. That's where I go with my big thing that I've been trying to push for the last year is just misinformation. Like I was saying, and then the lack of accountability with it. So like the whole after the dude got shot, we get to hear Kristi Noem and Greg Bovino just straight up lie and call this guy a fucking terrorist and trying to be a mass murderer. Like all these things that we all know are lies, and then nothing happens to them. Like they don't get fired. They don't. That's nothing. Like, where's the accountability for doing wrong? Like we don't do. And again, not just politicians. Like I'm saying, this should happen to the media people too. Like if someone's caught lying, like Fox News guy caught lying, like they should have to fucking shut down for like a month or something. Like, dude, we can't allow people just straight up lying over and over and over with no repercussions. Like,
no.
Okay. To be perfectly clear, I spent the better part of 25 years in print journalism, and I left in 2020 because I did not believe in what we were doing anymore.
Okay.
So, like, everything that's happening right now is totally unsurprising to me.
Sure. What part of it? Like,
fair enough.
The lying part, or like the rise of like independent media, or what do you want to call it?
Well, I think we have a ways to go for independent media to really get on the throne. It's on its way. I mean, you got like 404 Media and ProPublica and stuff like that. Sure. But legacy media is not going to give this up without a fight, and it's going to get ugly first.
Sure. I mean, the thing is, you're watching it kind of live too. Like, legacy media is trying to get into YouTubes and stuff, like they're trying to get out of legacy media and become the new age media, so yeah, they're not going to give it up willingly, but like people like like Joe Rogan, the fucking Candace Owens, like these people have huge voices and platforms. They probably have more influence than CNN or whoever you want to call it, like honestly.
I mean, I would make the argument that that's not the case.
Okay.
Because so few people, like, I didn't know who the fuck Charlie Kirk was before he was killed.
Okay.
And I mean, we have these. I am 46.
So his target audience was
20s.
people who are in high school and coming out of high school into college.
Yeah, I mean that's what we targeted the most for sure.
That's who we're fighting up against, like Nick Fuentes and Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
We're influencing these young boys' minds.
Nick fucking Fuentes. I have a buddy going down his rabbit holes, and I keep trying to pull him out. I'm like, stop, dude. Just please stop. This guy is like the worst.
He gives plenty of signals that we should be wary of. A lot of these social media influencers do.
I have a little bit of a hot take on Charlie Kirk. I think that he was a neurodivergent person that they used to push an agenda.
I think he's a closeted gay dude that can't get over it, so that's why he's a loser. Like, I think that's the main issue with Fuentes.
Nick Fuentes or Charlie Kirk?
Nick Fuentes for sure. Charlie Kirk, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, Nick Fuentes.
Yeah. Charlie Kirk, I can see him being like an outsider kind of person and saying that he like, fuck it, let's just take it.
I think Nick Fuentes was a neurodivergent person who had trouble making friends, and I think that
that's a lot.
His family was involved. He was involved with those people, and they used him.
I don't know.
I think they groomed him. I'm not saying he's a total victim. He's completely responsible for the shit that he said and he did, but
yeah,
it's pretty clear he was used.
What?
Yeah, I can see him being like.
I think a lot of the young minds are.
Well, that's the whole red pill movement. It's male loneliness, and they don't know how to cope with it, or don't know how to, especially in today's world. Like I said, that's what I was getting at earlier with like dating for women's got to be tough because now like a lot of women make more money than men and all this other shit, but then they want the woman to do all the house chores and do all the like the old days. But it's like, bitch, I make more money than you. How you gonna tell me to do all the house stuff? Whatever.
Or they're just straight angry. They don't even care that they don't even. They say that they're interested in dating, but the entire time you talk to them, they bitch about how women have made their life so hard.
Sure, that's definitely part of it. I agree.
That is very pathetic.
I mean, I have 2 ex-wives, and like at no point have I thought to myself, the problem is women. The problem is individuals that you don't actually see eye to eye with.
Correct. But it's like anything. So, like in Minnesota, guess what? Some Somalis fucking robbed and did stupid shit. Guess what? Now everybody in Minnesota is Republican-ish. Every Somali is a thief and a liar. Like this is how people are in today's world. People don't. That's why I wish I would tell people like nuance is dying. Like there is good conversations to have about these things, but nobody wants to have them because they want to go to the extremes.
It's die even more with AI.
It's getting way worse. But
in Uptown in Minneapolis, and so I'm familiar with the area that these things are happening in, and it's like, what the hell? This was a completely peaceful, like, vibrant community. What?
And it still is mostly. I mean, obviously, you're gonna have some crime. I'm not saying there's zero crime, but like in general, Minnesota is like fucking good. I always tell people like, the people that don't go to Minneapolis are the ones that are scared of Minneapolis and all this shit happening. Like, as people who go there, I've been there. Like, I have buddies that live in all this shit. It's like, none of us have ever had a fucking problem. I always say, like, I've been down to some of the bad areas or whatever you fucking call it. I ain't never been jumped and robbed or whatever. Just fucking act like a normal, good, decent
Exactly.
person.
Neither have I. Just shut your mouth. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, man. Like,
don't stare.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, just act like a normal fucking person and you'll probably have no problems. Like, obviously, randomly, it does happen. I'm not saying, again, it's not a 0%, but...
Yeah.
And there are little pockets that are worse, but...
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
It's usually where poverty is heavy.
It's like anything.
It's where poverty is heavy and it backs up on rich areas.
Yeah,
that's
what it is. I mean, that's every
country. You've got people selling drugs to people who can afford drugs, and then you've got, the survival aspect of what gangs bring along when communities of oppressed people are looking for. They're looking for security and shelter, and so they start creating their own security and shelter within because they have a distrust of enforcement, which is. Valid. We all know that this world is made for the rich. It's not made for the poor. So
exactly.
Well, and the absurd thing is, like, if you're gonna choose a neighborhood in Minneapolis, Uptown or Powderhorn is like that's a really weird flex.
The world is made by the rich.
Sure.
And its standards are dictated upon the rest of it. Sorry, I just want to throw that in.
They're going to do what's in the best interest for their people.
Goes back to tribalism in a sense.
For their profits.
Or those that they relate to.
Yeah, it's tribalism. I guess what rich people care about rich people, you know.
Well, and it's the same thing with these young boys who are lonely, right? They head down that rabbit hole because they see a connection with somebody who's suffering from the same thing they are, and they automatically assign the same.
Yeah, sure. That's the emotional part. That's what I'm saying. So, like,
Yeah.
we got to get better at trying to be more objective about our actual thoughts instead of just being emotional. Like you're saying, like, oh, this dude's a fucking loner, blah, blah, blah. I should listen to them. And then go down the rabbit hole and become a red pill dude, you know? Like I said, like,
I think we would all benefit if we just sat down and talked to each other again.
Sure.
Instead of just blabbing on the internet, like not like what I'm saying now, but like
no, in general,
in our little TikToks and our Instagrams, and we're all bitching.
Sure.
And
Yeah,
we're pushing this movement of self, and it's like, well, we need community. We really need community. We've lost the art of living amongst each other and learning how to navigate that.
Well, again, it goes back to what I was saying with like the clip culture. Like when you're talking shit to somebody online, usually you're just giving like a 3, maybe like a 2-paragraph snippet of what you're thinking instead of being like, let's actually talk about this for a couple hours and actually flush out ideas instead of just quick snippets back and forth. Like, oh, you said this? Well, you're dumb because of this. Boom. You know, like, no, let's actually try to like understand each other and grow instead of fucking, yeah.
Instead of making money on hot takes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it is. Just instant gratification. Like, again, it goes back to if you listen to these people
backed by dopamine.
Well, I was saying it goes back to where you could argue with somebody for fucking 2 hours and lose 95% of it. But if I got 5% of clips that make me look like I win or did good, that's what people see, and that's what people remember.
People seek out what they want to see.
Sure. And that's the other thing.
That's why we all live in our own little realities. I'm really bad at it.
It's very frustrating to me because I got into journalism as a columnist in college, so I was ready to spout off, and some of my earlier work wasn't all that great, but I was involved in long form, and I had never intended to be a writer or anything like that. It was a random thing. But so when Twitter came out, I had no interest in it because why would I want to hear something like, I don't want to just read headlines all day.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, people are definitely headline watchers.
Short videos. I go to Instagram, there's a short video. I go to YouTube, there's a short video. I go to Reddit, there's a short video. I go to fuck Egypt, there's a short video.
That's because that's all people's brains can fucking handle nowadays. That's the sad part.
I've never been on Instagram and I've never been on TikTok, and I don't understand why the hell anybody has any interest in these things, because they're not going to give you anything but bite-sized information.
Uh-huh. I agree.
We're not. People aren't trained to question what they're exposed to. We aren't trained to question the entertainment sources and technologies that we
about a month ago. I fucking regret it.
Yeah, we grow up in the environment that we grow up in. It's like we talk about this a lot, like Heidegger's thrownness. This idea that we're thrown into the world without an instruction manual. Your brain is evolved to adapt and to maladapt to the environment that it's raised in. And right now we're bombarded by technology like we've never seen before.
But again, it's the best.
Well, and
you can look up.
That's true. And we're at Stone Age brains still.
Yeah, and that is a theory, but it sounds like a pretty damn good theory.
Because the brains evolved so much slower than our technology has.
But we can't at all dismiss the fact that American education was intentionally gutted more than 40 years ago so that we would end up at this point.
That's a part of it.
Yeah, there's a ton of evidence suggesting that that's the case. That was quite deliberate, or at least there are some people that made deliberate choices in that regard.
And also the big thing with the stats from back in the day before and now is that all the dumb kids back in the day didn't go to school. Like nowadays, kids have to go to school, so like your kids are going to be the numbers are always going to be a little bit lower because we have the least educated people doing it now, compared to those people who used to just be farmers and they didn't leave the farm kind of thing.
Yeah, imagine how much better our teachers could be if we paid them a living wage.
Oh, I mean, I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm just saying, but like, because people always try to throw out schooling was better, so I did a bunch of reading to this, and that was the main difference. Like, think about if the worst 10% of kids right now didn't go to school, how much higher our education system would be right now, like number wise, and that's what it was.
I also think we need to honor the fact that not everybody has to go to higher education. Some people, some people shine.
Sure.
Shine well
in car people, yeah, all that shit. Yeah, we need them for sure. Mechanics, all that kind of stuff. It shouldn't be force fed. You have to go to educate or like go down like a traditional school road. No, but technically that still is like the best way to make the most money though. So like,
I mean, in the age of AI, are we certain of that?
I don't know. Well, it seems like trade schools. Yeah, I think trade schools.
I was an exchange student in Germany in the 90s.
Okay.
And their education system is somewhat interesting in that basically after 6th grade, you get assessed and you get thrown into one of 3 categories, one of which is the college track, one of which is trades, and one of which is kind of somewhere in between where basically you're just going to be a service industry worker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do the like when you're like 14, you kind of like, oh, this is what I'm gonna be probably. So then you kind of go down a specific schooling road. I don't mind that because I've thought about that too for a long time. I thought that was kind of the best way. I don't know. I do like having at least somewhat well-rounded like people probably should know like basic math, like the basic shit, like basic science. Because the thing is. Because if you don't know, if you go down a road where you know nothing about science, well, that's how you can get tricked by flat Earth people or whoever people, right? Because you have no education on it, kind of thing. So it's a fine line, I suppose, with being hyper specific.
Yeah, but I mean, you should have basic math and science knowledge from elementary school, not because you need that after you're 14.
That is true.
Maybe, I guess, I don't know, because high school, I remember we learned
because middle school we learn about earth science and all that.
Sure, I'm saying, so he's talking about like if you didn't have to learn high school. So at least in Minnesota, high school was physical science. 9th grade, it was 10th grade, it was biology, and 11th grade was chemistry. Like that was your normal science path. So I mean, like I feel like people probably should know a little bit of biology, right? Know some plants and animals and shit. Like some physical science. Like I could see us not needing all of it, but some of it we should probably have kids still learn.
I never took a biology course either in high school or in college, and I never took a journalism course.
Then how did you become a journalist then? Like what did you study in college then?
I originally started as a computer science major and then switched over to linguistics after realizing that computer science was too theory heavy for me. And then a couple of weeks after getting back to college, I started at the school paper and realized day 3, that's what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. And so academics became pointless.
So
dude.
A linguistic degree was able to
linguist
be a journalist?
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I just didn't really care for the classes. I was there to do the fucking work.
Sure, I get that. I mean, honestly, in real life, I don't think you even think you need to go to journalism school to be a journalist. I think as long as you know how to that's the whole thing with like the whole independent media. As long as you're able to put the time and effort and track down people, do all your questions, all that shit. I think you can be a journalist without it, obviously. But obviously, I think like the school is gonna give you the structure to teach you like how to like probably vet your fucking information and shit. I guess that'd be my thinking. I guess.
And if that were the case, that would be really, really nice. However, the journalism school had been gutted by the time I got there. So they were communications majors with an emphasis in journalism, and they were far and beyond the worst fucking people to have in that goddamn newsroom, because they were used to working at the speed of academia, which is, hey, we might need 10 to 12 inches, and you've got a week, and here are the sources that you already have, and we'll circle back. And it's like, no, I need fucking 20 inches in 2 hours. I'm not handing you sources.
Mm-hmm.
Go fucking do the work.
Yep. As it should be, though, realistically, like. Because the thing is, like, if, let's say I was a journalist and I break a story, it'd be really weird for me to be like, I broke a story, but also had, like, 28 other people help me break a story. Like, especially right away when you're first coming up.
Well, and I mean, I understand. Like, I had no background whatsoever in journalism before I started at my school paper. And I understand very well what that ladder climb looks like. But if you're stuck in this kind of middling process that will never be useful in a newsroom, you're not useful to me as an employee.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it is unfortunate the direction that academia has taken in many ways. On my Discord channel, we talked about how that has affected psychology, but also just this idea of STEM. Like, it seems like that area of occupational opportunities is only what's really available: science, technology, engineering, and math. And people have tried to make this into a better acronym, something like STEAMed HAMS or whatever, like science, technology, engineering, arts, and music, and like anthropology, and something, music and such, or something like that. But yeah, it's by necessity that those categories are lacking. The arts and the humanities and the cinematography and those kind of fields, they're harder to have a guaranteed future in, and thus over time it's been such that they don't teach it. It's not offered as much unless you go to one of the more private universities or one of the better funded ones, which are more rare. So I tried to kind of portray this a while back by like using the Japanese model of Ikigai. I don't know if y'all are familiar with this, but it's like it kind of breaks it down into your life purpose is kind of your vocation, your occupation, your passion, and your mission. I think I got that right. And then if one of those is lacking, it has various consequences, and the Japanese have philosophized on that for a while. And what it seems like in the US is that your passion, that's the one that's kind of missing here. If you fall into one of those categories of, the arts and the humanities and philosophy and these kind of things. So what does that do to the culture? I mean, I think we're seeing the consequences.
Well, it rolls us back from the Enlightenment.
Precisely.
Yeah, and then also, like, you want to. I'm talking from the college level, but you want to have a variety of classes so you're exposed, not just for, like being a Renaissance type, but like you might not find your skills till later, down in the curriculum. And then you're running against time because guess what? You've got to hit certain classes. Like I remember my bachelor's, I had to have 124 credits to get my bachelor's. And you wanted to have some exposure and you wanted to see if you had some natural talent too, but you've also got to race the clock with classes, curriculum, the semesters or quarters, however your school works. But you get tracked, Maybe you can be undeclared that first year, but after that, it's serious money, that's at stake. Just trying to find yourself, so you get tracked pretty early after that first year.
Right, it gets set in pretty easily. Yeah, there's lots of branching paths, and there's also this problem, the existential given of freedom. Irvin Yalom talks about this. A lot of other psychologists have too. Like, there's he wrote about this like 80 years ago, and now we're in this world where there's infinite opportunities, especially if you're in a privileged country like the U.S. And it's like you're facing FOMO all the time. Like you were always forced to question, did I really take the right path? Am I fulfilling my destiny or whatever, like my ultimate purpose or my best purpose? And yeah, you can really get caught up into that. And so, yeah, we have to step back. I think it's most helpful for us to take up exercises that help us to step back from those kind of expectations that society imposes upon us, and educate ourselves how we want to. I mean, you can learn online much easier now at much greater depth, and a lot of people are making this argument too that education might be going the direction of the internet in general, because the quality of courses, the quality of lecture series that you can see, you can watch a famous lecture series of a whole course taught by famous professors. Like, you want to watch the history of philosophy or history of religious philosophy from what's his name, Andrew Holmes. Yeah, that's a really good one. Michael Sugrue, if you're familiar with him, also history of philosophy.
Yep.
Robert Sapolsky on like human behavioral biology. That was fantastic. It's like 24-part course, completely free, from Stanford, with all the giant whiteboards and everything. So, I mean, it seems like it's going in that direction for multiple reasons too. The profit incentives and the video hosting sites profit from that in a lot of ways, but it also comes with risks. The quality can be debated, but you kind of get that effect where it's like, if you're an online retailer, you get feedback and enough people give thumbs up or give good ratings for the university, and it's more legitimate that way, I guess.
I don't
and
think
I wonder,
that we could
Go ahead,
really
Padre.
say that the online ratings game is something that we can rely on in any way, shape, or form, and neither can the companies.
Right. And that was what I was going to say, because what happens is if you strip away some of the recognized, like universities, degree requirements, that's going to force the employers to have to assess candidates, in the interview process. And I got to say, like, that's really tough, because that market doesn't really exist. Yeah, they might screen your personality and see how you interview and interact with who might be your workforce, your coworkers. But like when it gets down to the skills, like it's got to be really like, probably the IT field probably does it best right now to like see your coding skills. But like everything else, no, you're dependent on that university status and degree.
Yeah, the certification speaks for more than anything. And the online certification still doesn't look as good as the physical college location. But yeah, I mean, the fields that are going to be offered are becoming more limited. Like we were discussing earlier, it might be going to trades or to just whatever the latest occupational zone of opportunity is. That's kind of like hovering at that point in time. For like this year, this is what AI is allowing the space for opportunities. This year, that's kind of like, this is where you should aim your career. So yeah, I feel bad for the coming generations, because that sucks to deal with. That's got to be super weird. Including, I mean, myself, I'm also kind of like wrestling with that, and not because the coaching business itself is like, how are you going to coach someone or like counsel someone and mentor someone if the landscape is ever shifting like this? You know what I mean? That's kind of vague, but like there's still plenty of fundamentals that we stick to when it comes to coaching, and like the cognitive therapies, and those probably won't change for a good while. But yeah.
I ended up in automation at several different roles, but it was never in my title. And so when I decided, okay, I have given up on corporate journalism, I want to move into pure play coding. And because I didn't have that title, which is literally why I was told to stop doing automation at my last role, which was at Gannett, which is a small company that has a few newspapers. IT told me to stop coding because it wasn't in my title. And then I went 18 months because I said, okay, then move me to IT. And they kept stringing me along and everything like that. So after that, I went to do a coding boot camp. And I went through the 6 weeks. I was already conversant in JavaScript. Java was a little bit of a different beast, but I knew my CSS and my HTML. So I got the certificate, started applying, and look at that. Absolutely no difference. Now I have an age problem.
Yeah. Yeah, do you mind me saying, is it 50s?
No, I'm 46.
Oh, okay. Close enough. Yeah, they'll start to really eyeball you.
I removed everything from like before 2003 from my resume, but the problem is at 2003, that's where I'm the news editor of a newspaper, and I really don't want to strike that from my resume.
Yeah, understood.
Yeah, these are unique situations, well presented. I mean, the trade, like you can offer the trade schools, but that's kind of privilege. That's something that are ableist, possibly. We all agree that I think everyone here agrees that we need to be improving our social services, mental health services, physical health services of all kinds. Those have been shoddy and extremely lackluster for the past the whole time. The whole time it's been terrible. But the medicalization, the medical industrial complex has gotten more sophisticated and more exploitative. Or I think that's how you say that word. It hasn't gotten less. Yeah, I mean, so the trades, you can only do so much plumbing, and you can only bend your body so much to do handyman work, installing AC units and all that.
I mean, it's important.
But that's what AI is. AI can't do that, and no employers aren't going to want to pay for the AI bots that have the extremely dexterous hands for quite some time, because those are the most expensive. So the robots that we're going to see for the rest of our lifetime are going to be the ones that can stock shelves and do the more simple tasks.
But again,
well, it's going to be really expensive when a robot falls off a roof.
No, but I'm going to ask is that, again, I was going to make the point of if you don't give a UBI system, which is the only answer I could think of, because if it's not that, how are you going to have people spending money on the goods that the robots are making to make rich people more money? Like, people have to have money in order to spend money on the goods, the cars, the whatever the fuck, right? Like, there has to be a solved answer.
What is that money based on? Like what? Yeah, that's a lot of people are saying that's the direction it'll go, or it's going to force us to put on or to take up a UBI. But that's, I mean, I also like that option. I just don't know how it doesn't create more imaginary money, or just create more complex debt like what we've done with the printing of money in the U.S. Like, what is the UBI based in?
I guess the bad idea would mean it's good and bad. It'd make everybody equal in the sense like, oh, we all get $5,000 a month because that's how much bills cost. This. Here you go, right?
Yeah.
But so
it'll be gradual. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, there's gonna be two ways. People are gonna be super lazy, like in the movie WALL-E, or people are gonna be super motivated because they have more time on their hands. Maybe like they're artists, they might draw more. Like things that people care and love about that might have more time to do it. So it can go both ways, like the good way and the bad way. So like in the end, I don't know how it's gonna cut out, and but.
Let's not forget that if everybody is getting $5,000 a month, rent will increase to $5,000 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not necessarily
it's kind of like a balance.
Because I'm saying if there's no more money to take from people because you have robots working, I'm saying everyone has the same income. I'm guessing it would be like the price would have to be set for almost ever.
Are you honestly telling me that rent seekers would be like, oh, we've got UBI now, let's not go ahead and rent seek?
I mean, maybe. I guess it depends. It depends on how strong your government is, how much you have, like, whatever handrails on this, to rein capitalism in, because that's always the key. Like I'm pro capitalist, but there needs to be fucking checks and balances on it. You can't just have unchecked capitalism. And I think that's where you need a strong central government to do that. Or like,
well, we have a strong central government. It's just doing the wrong shit.
Sure, right now. In general, we never really had a strong central government until recently. That's like a new thing. But yes, I get what you're saying.
Oh yeah, no, I mean I understand the federalism aspect and everything like that, but this is uncharted territory.
It's becoming one, yes, I agree. That's why I'm saying I don't know. That's why I'm prefacing like I don't really have like the answer, because we don't have no actual clue. Like I'm just throwing out, like I can see things playing out like 2-3 different ways. In the end, I don't know which way it's gonna actually unfold. But I try to remind people, like, because like my nephews and shit, they always try to the robots and all this shit are gonna take over the world, and I try to just remind people in general that like humanity's always thought the last technology was gonna take over the world and end the world or whatever. So, and it never really has. So it probably won't happen this time. It's just like there's more of a likelihood that it could happen. So I'm not saying it's a non-zero chance, but people thought the steam engine was gonna change everything. People thought industrial revolution was gonna change everything. People thought the internet was gonna change everything. Quantum, all so like. I just think as humans are always kind of scared of the newest thing out there. I think it's a big part of it.
In fairness, I would argue that the Industrial Revolution did make a big difference.
Oh, it did make a big difference, but it didn't like end like jobs or like end like how like humans worked and lived. Like we basically lived the same. People in 1910 lived basically the same as we do now. We just have better technology, right? Like we're not fundamental. It's not like going from the hunter gatherers to industrial revolution. It wasn't that big of a jump.
Yeah, and it's like things happen in ripples too. It's not linear. Like if we take our example of the Industrial Revolution, yes, it created crazy good employment. Well, I shouldn't say good. It created employment because you could work in a factory and just have a miserable life. But the opportunity was there. And then we've seen that died out, and like kind of the leftovers is our education still answers to that model where they want you to punch a clock, they want you to conform, they want you to fall in line, and we've got to break free of that, and it's so slow, to like say what is the next thing we ask of our kids, for what will prepare them for life. And I don't think we have a good, strong leadership or answer, because everything is just, it's uncertain, and but the best thing is, to teach people to how to think well, you can never go wrong with that.
Yeah, basically critical.
And I don't know if that's exacting enough for like math to get on board, for, social studies to get on board, for them all to be like, okay, across the curriculum, how do we, get them to think critically?
Yeah, I get you. So like, I think people get mad, but like, I kind of feel like we got to get to a point with like, I feel like voters should be able to have to pass a basic civics test. Like, you should be able to tell people what the Congress, the Senate, the president, like what their jobs and stuff are, because I ask people all the time when I'm just arguing, like, what are the 3 branches of government? You'd be surprised. Like, probably 40% of people don't even know what the 3 branches are at all. So like when people are saying like right now, like they call it the Unitarian power structure or whatever, they're saying basically Trump owns all of the fucking executive branch, like all through him, which has never been the case, because usually they're all independent. They're in the executive branch, but they all independently ran. They don't want the president having all that power, and now we have people simping for it because they don't understand how government works or like anything works like that.
Mm-hmm. And do you think they want to know, or they're just complacent?
I think they would. I think it's one of those things I think you learn like in 7th, 8th grade. Most people just forget, It'd be like, I think people should have to get like a refresher at like, I don't know, 21 or something. Be like, hey, remember how you had this in your knowledge bank? Can you bring it back out? Because these things are important, right? Like, again, it's like the whole thing with ICE and shit. I don't care what they're doing. It's the process. The process is the thing that matters, because that's what really makes America America. Like, we're not supposed to be ran by a people per se. It's supposed to be a rule of law. Like, the law says this, therefore that's how we're supposed to behave and act. Like, I tell people, like, if you do criminal activities to catch criminals, are you actually helping out? Really? Like, is it actually a net positive? It seems like a wash, right? Like, in order to catch a criminal, I had to make fucking 4 more, because they're doing criminal activity kind of shit, like when you're doing warrantless raids and, I always say, when your first course of action is to fucking tell people to get the fuck out of the car and you break their windows, like, that is not how any agent cop is ever supposed to act. So I don't know why people are saying, like, oh, this is what they can do. It's like, no, they really can't. Like, read the rules. Like, it's not supposed to be like, there's a threat of violence thing, whatever it's called, where there's like 4 stages where you go from here to here to here. You just don't jump to the top level and whip out guns and start screaming at people and go, well, they acted all scared and shit. It's like, well, yeah, people fidget and get, people aren't thinking normal when they're scared. Like, and it's just all fear-based shit. But again, because people don't realize what the rules are. Like, there are rules that say, like, we're not supposed to allow this, and people act like that's the norm, and it's not.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's a media tactic. Because the military-industrial complex is so massive and it's so visual, right? And it stays in people's minds. So it's propaganda that like we're just consuming it constantly right now. And what's so crazy is I don't always think that's the most effective way to be effective too.
No.
Like what if Google just handed over all the stuff that we have online? Like, that might be, and this is kind of dark thinking, but like that would be way more effective to maybe catch people that are here illegally. But it's like, what freedom are we willing to give up in the pursuit of
Security.
apprehending?
Again, it comes down to the
illusion.
Well, again, like, so I always use this analogy, like, with the whole, like, Gaza Palestine shit, right? Like we could end the conflict right now. We could just literally mass genocide people. So it's not about ending the conflict. It's how you get there. Like, that's the important part. Like, we can do a lot of things real simple and easy, but it's probably not the best way to do it, right? Like, and that's what I try to stress.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think, just about everybody has a device. And I think, like, if you really wanted to get people, like, that'd be the way to go. I would go.
Yeah.
But that's not that's not historical.
With the whole, I always tell people, like, I've talked to tons of Republican people at the bar I work at, but, like, I always tell people, like, if they were just to arrest the criminal people that are already in jail and deport them, like, there's a lot of room, I think, where even, like, a lot of really far left people would even probably agree with you. But you're going after people who are going to the fucking criminal, the immigration courts and shit to pick up people. Like, these are the people who are doing it the right way, like you always say, and you're abducting them. Like, this is not what. If you're a center right person, this is not at all what you voted for. Maybe if you're obviously the far right people, this is probably what you voted for. But anybody in the center, this is not what they thought was going to happen. They thought they're going to get rid of the criminals and shit. Like, and most people would agree. Like, it's just it's a process. Like, why are people saying that it's cool to do warrantless raids? Like, I use the German priest guy who goes, they came for the communists. I wasn't communist. I didn't do nothing. They came for the Jews. I wasn't Jewish. And at the end, they came for me, and nobody was around to speak up for me. Because that's that's what always happens the second you start giving up your rights. Like, that kind of rights. Like, just let cops come in and check your house and fucking search your fucking IDs and, all that kind of shit. That's a horrible world to be in. And now we have people arguing for it. And that's so disheartening to me.
PayPals, please.
It's like Inglorious Bastards, man. We're getting there, slowly but surely.
As I said, I spent time in Germany, and so I got to see what happened to people of my generation in the 90s regarding, the history of Nazi Germany. And basically, anybody in school who said they were proud to be German was ostracized.
I know. Oh, they did it the right way. I always say too bad it happened first, but like, if we'd have done that with the Confederate people after the Civil War, I think we'd have a lot of this squashed out by now. But we let these people, survive and keep the lost cause mythology and all this bullshit. And I always say these are the same people. The modern MAGA movement is just the Confederate Army people, just in today's world. They're the same people.
Oh yeah,
everything. We didn't stomp it out when we had the chance, and now we're still dealing with the lingering remnants of it, basically.
Well, I mean, that's kind of part of the problem, is that we never rooted this out. Like, denazification actually worked. Reconstruction did not.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I totally agree. I'm saying that's what I'm saying. It sucks that the Civil War happened first, because if we could have watched what happened with the Nazis, like I said, denazification, I wish we'd have took more of like that stance. Be like, oh no, dude, like this shit's not cool at all. Like, we're gonna kibosh this right now because that's the way it needed to be. You can't let these people keep surviving and think that everything's gonna be hunky dory.
Okay,
let's not forget that Hitler looked to the Confederacy to figure out how to be as racist as possible. Like, we gave him the idea.
And how to torture them. Like, he took some of his torture methods from how we treated slaves. I know, it's fucking horrible. It's crazy. But again, like, we should have made it illegal for all those people to be fucking run for offices ever again. There should have been a whole big hammer that came down. And I feel like that's what we got to kind of do with like the modern MAGA movement. Like, once they lose power and the Dems over, like, we got to make sure like none of this shit ever happens again. Like, we're not allowing you.
We got the 14th Amendment out of the Civil War, but it hasn't ever actually been successfully used.
I know. Because the main problem is that the definition of insurrection, they use the word insurrection in the definition. So like, there's no actual like, one way to define it so we can make it legal. Like, that's why I think it's never been used. Because they tried with Trump and they lost. Because that's what they said. They're like, we don't know what an insurrection is. Nobody knows.
What's a moiter?
Yeah, I don't know.
What's a truck?
Saying that depends on what the definition of is.
Bill Clinton has joined the chat.
What had happened?
I put in the chat a link to a Gabriel Rockhill article called "The United States Did Not Defeat Fascism in World War II. It Discreetly Internationalized It." And it talks about Paperclip, but then also that other one. There's a lesser well-known one than Paperclip, whose name I can't remember.
Okay.
But it also talked about Nazis being integrated into the military leadership structure of NATO, like through the 70s. Pretty concerning.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, like, shit, I missed that.
I was gonna say, so that's like I can see there's two ends of that story. I guess you're right that it sounds and looks bad because they're Nazi and shit, but like, how many Nazi scientists only did it because they're gonna die? So it's like, because they didn't get out, like the Albert Einsteins, the people that didn't get out before the wars and shit happened, they probably just got stuck working there because they're gonna fucking kill your whole family, kind of shit, So I guess it depends on how much pride they had into the Nazi movement would be what I would really look for. Like were you can I read you in papers being a staunch supporter and defending? Like, if you're that kind of person, then fuck off. You're just lying. But like, like I said, if they threaten your family and shit, like, I suppose you have to work for them, right? Like,
No, you can definitely resist fascism. You definitely do not have to fucking get a job with Palantir.
I understand. No, Palantir is different in the sense. I'm talking about like the Nazi moment. It's like where it's legitimately like I'm saying like if Hitler's people came and knocked on your door and said, "You're working for us or we're going to kill all of you right now." Most people are going to work for them, I'm assuming. Like even if they disagree with them morally and shit, like, and it makes sense. Like, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily fault someone for working for them if that's the case. Like I said, if I were to read like papers and shit, and you're the like, yeah, fuck the Jews or whatever the fuck, like, yeah, fuck off. Like you're making up talking point after the fact, not a real point kind of thing.
Oh, the Nazis loved post facto shit.
They love what?
Ex post facto.
Right.
Coming up with rationales after the fact.
Yeah, post hoc, basically. I mean, again, goes back to like the lost cause. The whole thing about lost cause, the reason why it even started, it was a post hoc. Like they lost the war because of slavery and this and this and this, and then they go, oh, well now it's about states' rights, and they changed the whole narrative.
Yeah, well, these are the exact same people who were claiming that it was never about slavery in the first place.
Yeah, I'm saying it's the same thought process. Like the war was about this, but now because you lost it and you don't want to sound so bad, you make it look like it's about this. So now in history, people go, oh, see, they were just looking for their rights and shit. You know, the North was being mean and this and this. Like, no. I always say, people like, it was about states' rights. I'm like, what right were they trying to keep? What was the main one? Oh, slavery. Oh, okay. Like, okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to consider all the crops and the wealth that was there in the South, and then slavery was a byproduct,
sure,
of that wealth.
Sure. Again, the thing is, again, goes back to the wealth class where we were talking about earlier. Like, if I'm wealthy and I own slaves, guess what? I'm making literally free money on all my cotton and all my corn and all, like, everything I sell is 100% profit. Like, that's, so, like, when they're bitching about, we're getting overtaxed, but, like, well, it kind of makes fucking sense. Like, you have free labor. Like, you should probably pay more. Like, you literally pay nothing to get the money you even have in the first place.
Well, but the other thing is that the South refused to industrialize because they were worried. They were relying on
the labor,
slave labor.
Yeah, that's why they never joined the North with the industrialization. Yeah, you're correct. But again, I mean, honestly, if I was a rich dude in the South, why would I build railroads and do all these cool things? When I pay those people and I have free labor to make a bunch of money off all the cotton and off all the corn and wheat and whatever, like
tobacco.
Yeah, I'm just saying all that.
Yeah, and you can fuck as many of them as you'd like.
Yeah. Where do you think like the less dark black people come from? A lot of them were fucking rape women from down south and all that shit, or even throughout history, but in general.
Yeah, I'm not like saying it was a good thing, but like that was a reality.
It was, yeah. I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying I'm just saying, like, whenever you see a light-skinned black person right now, just know that person, like, grandma was probably raped, or, like, whatever. Like, it's fucked up to think, but that's what probably happened. They were taken advantage of.
Well, I lived in Charlottesville for a time, and I went to Monticello once, and it was an interesting experience because, I mean, this is like 2003. So, the woke thing hadn't happened yet, and the docents were, like, actually telling you stories that, obviously Jefferson had a thing for black chicks.
Yep.
Sally Hemings, yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I grew up Mason-Dixon line, so that was weird. Because I would drive a half hour and be in South, technically.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Pennsylvania, so like Gettysburg is there, just a lot of history.
Oh, dude.
I've heard that Gettysburg is in Pennsylvania, yes.
Yeah.
I would love to go to a place like that and read all that shit.
A lot of barracks for George Washington, too. Towards Philadelphia.
There's a lot of rich history here in the city of Richmond. Areas. Yeah, that's right. The canals. So there's places in Richmond downtown where there's roads that are intentionally unpaved. They're cobblestone roads, and it sucks to drive on with your car, but they refuse to pave them because those are made by the slaves that were a foundational part of the early economic structure of the U.S., just going through the Richmond James River canal system and using those roads with the canals. And I'm reminded of that every time I ride over those cobblestones after learning that. That's good that we do things like that.
Dude, history is awesome, especially, which is always so. Like after going to Europe, it's always crazy to me because, like I said, we talk about history. It's like 200 years old. When you talk to them, it's thousands of years old. It's like our worlds are completely different to the rest of the world. Where our history, so like not anything really when you really think about it.
And it's that much more important too. At least that's the way I'm thinking of it now. That's how it needs to be taught, that we have to recognize what we've been through as a nation and recognize that is a real thing, and recognize the suffering of the people that were here before us, and how that is part of this nation, and not to the degree that it needs to be. At least their
it's a black
their preservation, like that's part of their history.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because like I always say, like people are always like, oh, you want to talk shit about Christopher Columbus, like he whatever. It's like even it's not about saying that like he became the worst person in the world, whatever the fuck it is, but it's acknowledging that like he did discover America theoretically, whatever the fuck, but he also did this. Like it's just being objective about what we know about the guy. Like that's really what it comes down to. It's not about, making him 100% villain or whatever the fuck kind of thing. It's just like most people in general. Most people are good and bad. Like that's not a hard concept, people. Like we got to stop fucking glorifying people and make it seem like George Washington. George Washington wasn't a perfect person. He probably fucked around, did stupid shit too. He had slaves, and like none of these people are perfect. That's fine, but we should understand that they still did great things that matter.
And he's a mercenary, though.
Huh? Who's a mercenary?
Columbus.
Originally, yeah. Wasn't he always like a war guy? Wasn't he always like a soldier most of his life?
It's me bedtime. Good night. Good talks.
Night.
Good night.
Now you.
Queen Isabella was like, what the fuck, bro? Columbus did what? It's like, I think he got like arrested when he got back.
I think he did, because I think he took money to do this whole trip, and they didn't. I don't think he told people.
Well, I mean, it was the original American grift.
Kind of.
Yeah. But how much better could education be? Like, if you did present a historical figure and you had both books, he's a hero versus.
Well, just be objective. Just be. Well, I'm saying you could teach it, like, hey, he did these great things. He discovered this, because he wasn't just America. He went to other places too. Like, he did all these cool things. However, he did fucking genocide a fucking island of people, and he did do these things too. Like, you can understand the good and bad with people. Like I said, we gotta stop making people be like 100% good or 100% villain. Like, there's usually, against like most things, there's a lot of gray in these areas, and nobody wants to ever discuss the gray.
For me, I'm like, we can do like both aspects exist, but I still find it useful to say like which aspect is the dominant aspect of the contradiction, right? And doing that keeps us from like just both sidesing everything controversial, sure. Right? So I have no problem saying that, like, the spirit of adventure that Columbus embodied was admirable, but in my opinion, that's secondary to like the genocide that he carried out. Yep. Just like it's like Mao used to say, like have a head for numbers, and so he said like Stalin is 70% good, 30% bad, right? And it's almost like arbitrary in a sense, but you're marking which one is dominant,
Yeah, and even
right. Yep.
from your perspective too, Lynn, because you talk about, the economy types, you could even say, okay, talk to us about how, he was a product of Ferdinand and Isabella and the land grabbing that was going on then.
Sure.
Oh, so Len is Evie from the other chat, the text chat, if you remember.
Yeah, I'm incognito on Discord because my ex was following me around Discord for a while. So
Oh, what the fuck?
to be Eddie again now.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
man.
what is everybody's
Good luck.
preference on here? Because you guys all have different names, and like I know your real name that I originated with, but it's like, do I?
Yeah, what is
You
it?
can call me whatever. I don't care. You can call me my name or my. I don't, either way.
I think you just missed the like tying information. That's funny.
All right.
No, I mean like in a sense of like yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, what is the best way to present history to the young folks?
To beyond folks?
In whatever way it appeals to them. Like the History Channel works for some people, and some of those people watch the Ancient Aliens part of that, and then other people like the lecture series and like the more in-depth exploration of history, all that. Sorry, I'm getting
Oh yeah, what we really need the kids watching is Graham Hancock.
Yeah, Brian Green. Fucking, there's a lot of people.
Well, I'm gonna do some shock and awe. Make them not forget the lesson. So if it's going dark, let's go fucking dark.
Sure. Again, that's my whole point. My point is, you can't get mad if you're telling the truth, right? Like if this person, again, it goes back to if somebody did something shitty, that's cool. Like they can do a billion great things, and you can mention and talk about all the great things they did, and it's cool. But you also should be able to admit when people are flawed, and that's should be just as fine. Like, because again, humans are just humans. We're good and bad. So,
I mean, it's like therapy. It has to be subjective for each person, and it has to be the right framework. And that doesn't mean it's like you have to create it from scratch completely for each person. You can use the old models and put people into the categories, and then work around that to create something original for them. That seems to be what we're trying to do with good, effective therapy. Yeah. And we have to take that same approach when it comes to political discourse. It's very difficult, though. There's one example. So this is something I noticed about a person that is an atheist who tries to have debates with people or just show the flaws in certain religions. And with Christianity, he's been talking about his primary approach is it's a little different than what other people do. He tries to show the history of how people thought about Jesus over time and the interpretations of what Jesus said, and how Jesus was essentially a socialist. He doesn't say that, though. He's just suggesting that just showing them a completely different way to look at the
character of Jesus.
Their holy figure. Yeah. And in as many words, he's also saying, I'm going to show you how you've been thinking about this wrong the whole time and how your views of your religion are wrong. And so that people will just kind of shut down, like as right as he might be, and as many of the parallels that we draw between Jesus and socialism and democracy and that kind of, or like liberal policies, turn the other cheek, give unto others, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you, as we see in that.
Neighbor, all that shit. Yep.
Yeah. But it's, when you try to show people how they're not following that correctly, it becomes a personal attack almost every time, I'm afraid. So it's very true.
That's a core belief.
Yeah.
Though. That's the thing. Like, like I could believe like my neighbor has a cat or a dog, but it doesn't affect me. But like, if I believe in a God or not God, that truly does affect me. So if I believe one way or another, it's really hard to get people to see, like, again, more objectively. Because like when I argue with people about the Bible, I always talk about like the game of telephone, and people talk about like the translation. Like that was my thing. Like when you find out it's all translations of translations and copies and handwritten, and you can see like bad handwriting, all these things. Like when I think about that shit swayed me. So like that's always my go-to with that shit. But then again, you can explain this to people, and people get it like 100%. Like they get the whole point. The telephone game, they get it, but they'll still go, "It's perfect," because it's a core belief. It's hard to, even if all the sense makes no sense, they'll still agree with it. It's tough.
I would make the argument that this is true for the Old Testament, but less so for the New Testament, because Jesus is pretty fucking clear. And yeah, it went through Hebrew and then Greek, and then, King James was like, let's add some thous in there. But it's pretty fucking clear. There's no ambiguity whatsoever to his teachings.
Sure, overall.
Yeah. He certainly was a poor man that lived among other poor people who was trying to help people and reduce suffering in the world, help give people different perspectives. But he also had God complex. That was the big part that separated him from all the other religious leaders and at least like theocratic influencers like the Buddha and other people like that who are more polytheistic. These are the monotheistic gods who, by necessity of there being one singular God model that we're made in his image, we get all super interpretive about how we think of that image. Like we want that image to be perfect because it's the one encompassing God. This is a theory I've been working on for a long time, and I hope it's not right, but it seems like this is the case with a lot of these, like the Western monotheistic religions, particularly Christianity. Because Jesus literally says in the Bible, if you do as I do, you can hold these poisonous snakes and you can drink poison and you will be fine. And thus today, what do we see still legal in Alabama? There are still churches West Virginia. There's a church that has snake handling where they get bitten. There's like generations of people dying from being bitten by snakes.
Don't you take that from us. We got that in Alabama too.
I'm sure.
Good for you.
No, it is outlawed actually in all the states except for West Virginia. Crazy. Anyways.
I used to live 10 miles from the West Virginia border, and yeah, that was kind of a crazy place.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy places.
I would never live there.
West Virginia? My buddy Mike lived in West Virginia for a few years.
I would never live in straight MAGA country. I will never live in Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. I'm never gonna visit these places. Honestly, I'm never going to Utah. Fuck that place.
Yeah, don't bother.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It might be gorgeous, and I'm not saying it isn't, but my buddy literally got a D-dub there for having too much energy drink in his system. When he was
Wow.
That's how fucking silly these people are. So no, I will never visit this place.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, I'll never forget that.
Jacked up on Mountain Dew.
I mean, it was Red Bulls and shit, yeah, but still, yeah.
Red Bull.
He got a D-dub for having too much energy in his system. It's fucking crazy.
Dude. Yeah.
Yeah,
it used to be Virginia. That used to be all Virginia, and then it was the Civil War that separated it.
Yeah, it was. So basically, during the whole when people were kicking the can down the road for the slavery issue, they made the whole Missouri Compromise. Over under. So every time that there was a new state, up or down, they always added a new one. That's how Maine became a state too. Maine was just Massachusetts, but then they added Kansas or whatever. They added a slave state, so they were like, "Oh, we need a free state. Oh, we'll make you a free state." And the same thing with Virginia and West Virginia. They needed another free state to keep it equilibrium even, so they made that state up.
That's wild. And so, of course, West Virginia still flies the Confederate flags more than any other state, it seems.
The thing to me that's kind of hilarious here is that whole agreement was kind of like, okay, so my wife's been cheating on me. I need to cheat on her, and then it'll be balanced.
That is, that's why I always say it's a joke, but they just kicked the can down the road. We all knew these things were issues and problems that we probably should, the slavery issues probably should have been solved in 1810, or probably after the War of 1812. So probably 1820. They literally just for 40 years in a row just kept kicking it a can down the road, you solve it. Nope, you solve it. Nope, you solve it. Instead of just, it's kind of like what we're doing now. again, it goes back to we all know there's all these issues, and we're just kicking the can down the road, hoping somebody else will figure it out. It's like, well, no, let us be the generation that figures it the fuck out and try to do something about it. Like,
because no one in power is willing to look past the next quarter.
Right. The next election, which every 2 to 4 years, depending on what you're doing. Yeah,
it's fucking
I'm
insane,
old enough
dude.
that I remember when we were not in a constant election cycle. It was something that happened every couple of years, not this fucking bullshit 24/7.
Yeah, that's social media though. That's when that changed.
I mean, I don't know. Trump is also, I think that he's made I've heard other people say this, and it's the case for me too. I'm way more politically interested now, thanks to the Trump administration. That kind of like shook me out of my miasma of like avoiding that world, and I'm trying to take it more seriously.
True.
Well, I've kind of had the opposite reaction, which is that, you know, I was in journalism for decades, and now I'm not, and it's like, oh my god, I really don't want to read what the fuck he did today, but I am a moderator on a news site, and so I have to keep up with all this shit, and it's terrible.
See, my thing is, it becomes important because, like I said, when I hear lying talking points where I work, I feel like it's kind of like an obligation for me to be able to point the actual facts and evidence. Like I don't know. One time people were saying like, oh, all these abortions at 9 months or 8 months are all fucking, like, you know, they're all because the women are fucking about to die, right? Like there's a reason why. Like, it's not just people are just willy-nilly doing these things. Like, but if I wasn't there to do that, she would have spewed her stupid fucking bullshit lie, and everybody there would have been like, oh, yep, and that's the new belief system, right? Like, you have to know at least some stuff about politics, or else you get sucked up into the lies of what's going on, because you can't really challenge
literally no woman wants to have an abortion at 8 months.
Of course not.
At that point, you've gone through the hell of the pregnancy, and now your life is at risk.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, for sure.
It's not like these are like, you know, tourists
but people say these things out loud, and like I said, if there's no one to push back, how much can that influence people listening? That's kind of what I'm getting at. Like, if you don't read into the politics at all, like if you have zero interest in it, because people are always like, I have zero interest, well, then you're just going to hear lies and you're going to allow it to pass. And that's how more information gets spread, disinformation. And that's what's, like I said, that's the real thing that's killing this world/country is disinformation. Like, that is the number one cause of almost all of our problems. I truly believe.
Disinformation
I absolutely agree.
Critical thinking it's absolutely something that you either take on or you don't, right? Like, so like I had so many things in my youth that added to critical thinking. Yeah. And so many people just didn't, you know, like, yeah, just straight up. So yeah, two sides.
I hate hearing anybody say two sides. Like, there aren't two sides to anything.
I always call it, I try to call it the gray area, because there is some gray area sometimes, but you still got to take a stance, like on right or wrong, whatever you're, you know. Like,
yeah, I'm like trying to think a lot about like pluralism versus opposition and binaries and shit.
Yeah, but right or wrong is not the same as like being able to understand the nuance of a situation. I mean, we're stuck in this political gridlock where it's us versus them, as opposed to, hey, why don't we consider doing some policy?
Nobody runs with policy no more. And that's the thing. People hated Biden, but he did policy, and then people still talk shit about him. Like, he did do like 5-6 big bills, bipartisan, with like 5 to 7 Republicans on every bill having to vote for it. Like, he did it, and people still hate this guy.
Got like a cultural ADHD that just keeps getting worse, basically, or whatever you want to call it. Attention span thing.
News cycle. Like, how about this dude? Like, what was it? Charlie Kirk got shot like 3 months ago. Who talks about that? Nobody, right? Like, think of all the things that we used to, like, were huge. Big
yeah, we're not recursive enough. We're not reflecting on our patterns enough. Yeah.
It's still being discussed I mean, I'm hearing people talk about it.
A little bit, but not like it. I'm saying the whole point is like not like it was.
Yeah.
You know, like again, like that was probably like 10 news cycles ago now, so it's way back there.
Yeah, but let's also consider how many people had never heard of Charlie Kirk before he was killed. It was not.
I'm gonna say probably half the country. If I were to guess.
I would say about 20%.
Okay. Because I think people have seen his clips. Again, it goes back to the clip culture that we have. People see his 30 seconds. I fucking dunked on some retarded college kid, right? Like, oh, boom, here we go. Like, so they might not know who he was, but they might. I'm pretty sure they've seen his clips, his work.
I think it really depends on your age, because if you're not worried about like what some sort of conservative asshole is doing on a college campus, you're not looking for that news.
No, you're right, but I'm saying, but like Facebook, like, so like, if you are a right.
Okay, I haven't been on Facebook since 2014, so that's not a good starting point.
Sure, or Twitter. I mean, pick whatever social media.
I've never been on Twitter.
That's fine. I'm not saying you, but I'm saying, but a lot of people you do know are on these things. Therefore, I'm saying, if you were to be a right-wing person and you're on one of these big major platforms, the AI algorithm is going to push these fucking little snippets your way. Therefore, you're going to see Charlie Kirk. Even if you don't even know who he is, you'll see a 15, 20-second clip of him dunking on somebody, and you're going to go, oh, that proves that we own the libs, or whatever the fuck. You know, that becomes your talking point. Even if
they do push right-wing. They push right-wing content at left-wing, or even just like, you know, even the most mildly left-wing people, you know, because it, you know, they're paying a lot of money to use that platform to manipulate people, you know, and it drives. It's like hate clicks, you know. People are like, I gotta see what he said this time.
That's
you know.
That's how we got it. Well, that's why we're in the world of extremes, because everything is clickbait. Like, I can't have a nuanced position on ICE because nobody's gonna fucking talk to me or care about it, right? But if I go fuck ICE and these people are horrible, billion people click on it and go, oh my god, look at this dumb or whatever the fuck it is, you know. Instead of being, like I said, there's a nuanced, good topic. Like, we can have a good conversation about these things, but nobody wants to have them because people want to go the extremes, and that is because of the internet. Because now people make money on Twitter and Facebook, or all these places, right? You know, like, and how do you get clicks? You got to be outlandish and nuts. It's the only way you get them.
Yeah, you got to shock people.
Yep. I guess going back to like we were talking about earlier, like the Nick Fuentes types, the reason why he got popular is because he said, I fucking love Hitler, and shit, like the most outlandish, crazy people shit, you know? But guess what? He made a movement now where people are starting to say that and actually mean it. Like, it was probably a joke at the beginning, but now he's audience captured all this shit. Now he just has to keep going. Can't slow down.
Sure, that's a real,
it's like the only direction they can go is in the direction of opposition, right? If you really think about it, if the whole system is based off of binary opposites, that's it.
Well, it's kind of like I said, but it's not just being opposite. Like, I can disagree with somebody about ICE or whatever, but I can understand, like, there's nuance. Like, I can make concessions on like parts that I agree with. And this, like, there's areas to wiggle back and forth. But like I said, nobody wants to have that conversation. You just want to have the whole, either the most evil motherfucking group in the world or they're saints. There's no in between. Like, that's my point. It's like there's an in between.
Well, it's like the chain of escalation is like sort of just one dimensional, right? You know what I mean?
It's becoming,
as far as when it comes to conflict. Yeah.
It's becoming, and it shouldn't be, but here we are.
There's a good Buddy Wakefield quote. He's a poet that I like. He said, I am part saint and part fraud.
Sure. Dude, it's the Indian verb adage, whatever. It's like, I have two wolves on my shoulders. Whatever one I feed more is the one I am. You know, like the good and bad. Like the good wolf, bad wolf. Depends on which one I feed.
There's a sort of ironic, like, I don't know. I feel like we use sort of ego as like a ironic attractor of sorts to, but then the ego sort of flattens, I would say, instead of like, being vertical, right? You know what I mean? It's like things just sort of flatten. You know, everything that exists on the same level, but is just different, right? That's yeah.
Do you think that stroking your ego is more important or more valuable than just straight power? Like, if you're rich, right? Do Do you think that like the Trump people, the rich people, do you think they feed off their ego being stroked, or do you think that they're feeding off?
I'm like,
that's probably based on privilege. They're probably based on their origins and the silver spoons that they had. Like if you're already set up to have power, then that's going to reinforce in your ego.
Yeah.
And if you're just like, if you have less finances, because I know people that are, yeah, I mean, I know plenty of people that are quite financially destitute and still quite prideful. I know homeless people that are like that are like, look at this one skill that I've got.
Yep.
And it can be like this really weird thing that's actually kind of cool, or it could be just really weird.
Sure.
And they're like, this is what I have to contribute. But they don't say it like that. Like, that's kind of what the ego does.
Ego is a sort of influence thing under pressure, I guess. And a defense. Identity is, in many ways, a defense if it's not just like, oh, I do this, I do that. It's not like nominal or whatever.
Yeah, we cling to it, and when it crumbles, it feels like we're dying, or it feels just extremely dramatic.
It is 100% a defense thing, because like, oh, if I'm not this, then I'm this, and then I'm that, and then oh my god, my whole life falls apart because people aren't vulnerable enough to, because they've learned that they have to fucking be closed off. Yep. And dude, I think absolutely there's probably everybody has some kind of shame. Everybody.
For sure, of course.
Human. Yeah. Yep. Because and then people present perfect lives. It's insane how
I back to like the Facebook and social media.
I can't believe.
Like you only post your best pictures, right?
Yes.
You only,
yes.
Even the way you look, like if you were to take like a selfie and you're like, oh, I look garbage. You're not gonna post that. You're gonna
I have garbage shit. I'm like, I don't even give a fuck, dude, because I know, but like, yeah. So I'm like at a point like, dude, why are you guys still such pussies? Like, it just drives me fucking insane. How can you consent to a life like this? Like, just low dimensional, and it's always got to be clear picture. You know, like it's like. Again, clarity is such a part of this too. Like, and
being a politician
dude,
in general,
it's like
even being a politician, like you have to. I
just want to swat people on the fucking head.
Outside. Like on the outside, everyone, even if you've done horrible things in your life, on the outside, everyone just knows about all the great things you've ever done or said or whatever, because that's all they want to push, right? Like nobody wants to.
People lost sight of development. It is definitely Nietzsche's last man to an extent, like in the fucking Shades of Grey type sense. Yeah. But I mean, it's always been like that too, though, right? Hasn't it? I don't know.
Dude, I mean, have you started on the fucking 50 Shades of Grey bullshit? My God, I've been in the fucking BDSM community for 16 years at this point, and when that book came out, oh my God.
All the normies came in.
Yeah, they were just like, ooh, I can just, like, have someone spank me, and I don't need to learn anything about the scene.
Right. All right. Yeah. That's like, I mean, that happens with like a lot of like things that become instantly popular. Like,
is people attached to the surface of it and not the depth, not the original depth, the original context,
again,
dude.
They don't know the history of it too. Like, I think he's getting at like,
yep.
You know, like, so like I'm a big basketball fan, but if I only like basketball from like 2020 from then to like now, I don't understand.
Oh, dude,
you have to know the history behind the game,
like,
how it was made, how things change. You know, to know how things actually are, because you're trying to compare things. But if you don't have a good comparison, it's hard to do it, right?
Like the pattern that I had getting into punk rock, you know, as a kid, going back further into history. And then all the other kids just stuck with Green Day and fucking whatever, you know, like just like a small selection of bands, you know, like that. Yeah, it is a weird non-historical interest, and then it's like also like that historical interest is like people are just so dude. Why are people so afraid? I want to know so badly. Badly.
I went raver instead of anywhere else in the 90s, and so I lost complete knowledge of popular music because, like, I didn't really want 3-minute tracks with, you know, a couple verses and a chorus, and then we're done.
Yeah.
I was a raver for a while too. I don't know, a lot
of what were they call it? Chord progressions. The same. Yeah.
Well, it's just the same setup. It's and honestly, like, certain songs with like certain courses, like they'll play the course like 4 times and do like 2 verses.
Yep.
So it's like, oh, so like
trash.
I always say, so if you were to read this like as like a poem, it's like literally like 3 paragraphs long, maybe 2 paragraphs, but
like,
you made it to like a 5-minute song. You know, like
I mean, like nothing against people that just genuinely enjoy it and it regulates them, of course. But you know, it's just a part of the you know, everybody has their sinks or whatever their areas where they're regressive.
I like music personally, usually for the lyrics. Like I like a motherfucker to tell me a story or about their struggle, their happiness. Like I want to be able to feel.
You gotta pay attention too with rap.
Well, not just rap. I mean, there's rock songs. There's a lot of good songs that just have like really powerful, like it means something. Like these songs, like because I used to tell this person at the bar, I'm like this song's really sad. I'm like, you know, most songs that make you feel are usually sad because that's how they felt, and now you can feel how sad they were when they wrote this song. Like that's how they felt, you know, that week, that month,
like
whatever it is, you know, like.
I like extreme music to like wake me up or something. I don't know what it is.
Sometimes I mean, there's a part of that too that I like too, of course.
See, and I would argue that I don't like music with lyrics. I mean, I do. Don't get me wrong. I there's plenty that I enjoy. But I enjoy being able to have my own interpretation of what the music means instead of being told.
Sure.
You know, so I grew up grunge, right? Grunge was I hated it growing up through it. Because I was like, I don't understand. How are these guys so pissed? You know, because I can relate to them. And then now, you know, now I'm 46. I was like, oh shit. Oh, I fucking know what's up now. Yeah. Now I'm down with grunge because I'm like, holy fuck, these guys are geniuses.
Dude, did you guys see that?
Aging backwards or something?
I don't know. The Rage Against the Machine dudes were at the Minnesota during the protest, right? And then they did a free show down in First Ave where it was like 2,000 people there just fucking rocking out. And like I said, it's funny because again, all the right-wing people that I know who love Rage Against the Machine, and like they've always been like anti-establishment, anti-power people, and there's songs about this, and he plays a song at the concert, and they're all like, "Fuck this guy, he's not one of us." It's like, did you guys not ever pay attention to who he was? This is what he was back in the 90s. Just because you grew up and now you're this way doesn't mean that he changed. You know, like fuck.
He has what degree does the songwriter have? I mean, it's political science, but isn't it a master's?
I think so. Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
I fucking enjoy these chats, dude.
I know, it's fun.
It's good shit.
Like, I mean, they've literally Rage Against the Machine. Look at the fucking name.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yep. Yep. See? Signs with no referent. With no, like, yeah.
I mean, people who are like, oh, I didn't realize they were going to be political. It's like, look at their fucking name.
He has a bachelor's in political science from Harvard.
Crazy.
Oh no, the guitarist, the guy that I was talking about, Tom Morello, he has a bachelor's degree in political science at Harvard. Their lead singer has a medical MA for Occidental College. Occidental. He was studying English and comparative literature. That's what he studied. The writer, the lead singer, I should say. I'm guessing they all wrote together, but
I guess wouldn't intelligence degrade? Or I don't know. Does it? If you introduce more fucking like words and shit into like a system, I don't know, plus some other variable. There's a simple way of.
Well, I mean, I'm an editor by trade, so as soon as I can make this work in fewer words, I will. But that's not songwriting, so I don't really think I can be qualified to answer that question.
Well, okay, so does the intelligence degrade with sort of like
talk about a certain type, and we can help you.
Oh, for what? Me?
For intelligence. There's so much of it.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll give an example.
Definitely abstract thinking, and then like sort of, you know, like relating sign, you know, like that example with Rage Against the Machine, you know, like it's like unidirectional sort of sign. I don't know how to put it. Like I imagine it in terms of like vectors and meaning. So it's like we go take take this information and move to that information. You know what I mean? So it's like sign, object, interpretant. There's a lot of elements to semiotics, but
like a synthesis.
I'm like nodes in a network, basically. So you move from like a set of signs, Rage Against the Machine, and it only goes to the band instead of what does Rage Against the Machine combined together mean based on the individual meanings of those words. So we're not like breaking down so it kind of is like then I was saying at one point we reduce qualities into quality. So it's like we take several variables and we that's labeling basically, is we assign quality to the label, and then that's our original sort of context for whatever the label applies to a lot of the time, I think.
Mm-hmm. I mean, so LLMs are literally vectors.
So like yeah, absolutely. Yep, 100%. This shit. Yep, they're like your shit that you say is like an attractor or it creates an attractor for the fucking ChatGPT or whatever the fuck, it like takes that information, yeah. So yeah, I think semiotics is the go, but it's sort of complicated to integrate into all of psychology and language. I mean, you're a linguist, right? So, or you're training it to some degree, so.
Well,
it basically relates.
It's been 25 years, so
Okay, yeah, but still, yeah. I think psychology is all fucking semiotic, all sign based. Like whether that's a sensation or an image or whatever, like it's all signs that produce like an automatic response, unless you produce constraints or whatever other words. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't help someone if I can't think how they think.
Yep.
Right.
Well, I grew up with a prominent clinical psychologist for a dad. And he was one of those wonderful guys, cliche, that could help all of his patients and everything like that, but could not see when I was having trouble.
Oh, that's always fun.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah, he was like, dude, I feel like some parents just like sort of not even like for their own fault, like just fail to attach all the way to it. Like to fail to be present with their children.
I think part of it was that he was unwilling to believe that he could possibly fail, and so therefore he was going to overlook everything.
Sounds like my dad.
Yep, so they don't reflect. They don't notice the absence or what, all that stuff. Jesus Christ.
My first suicide attempt was in 2000, and my parents were in Switzerland at the time. And they did not fly back early. They eventually came up to visit me in Seattle, and the first words out of my dad's mouth were, "I thought something like this might be coming."
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't even say anything. Like,
well, I'm saying, I guess you could see it as a good thing in the sense of at least he was able to notice. Maybe you should have said something before. I'm not saying yeah, but like at least he understood that you were in a dark spot.
It's like high resolution requires love, basically. It requires either giving or receiving love, or like between,
Well, I don't know if this is going to help, but I too have had mental health in my other person. And when it's in your own backyard, it's hard to have multiple roles. Like you're just not as effective. Yeah. Like, yeah, I knew things were not well, but guess what? My primary role is that I was the girlfriend.
Right.
It's hard. It's really fucking hard to have multiple roles and to be effective.
Yeah. Yep. Different. Yep. You pivot different directions, sort of.
Like, it's tough. Like, you're supposed to be a kid, and then now you have to grow up. because life circumstances forced it upon you.
And nobody fucking tells you what day that switch is supposed to happen.
It's and the thing is, it's different for everybody. Again, life circumstances pushes it upon you. It could be at 5 years old. It could be at 25 years old. Or 45. You know, like whoever knows. You know, like I suppose the easier your life is, the longer you get to wait to have that thrust upon you. I guess that one could call that the definition of privilege.
I had it thrust upon me rather early, but I also grew up with a relatively privileged upbringing. Like, I didn't even know that, like, mortgages existed.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And now I live in a van.
Is your van decked out, kind of?
It's livable. Basically, my rent went up by more than I could afford for my food and my cat, and so I bought a step van and I built it out. Like, it's insulated. I've got heat. I've got, solar and batteries, an inverter, everything like that. But no, it is not built out to what I intended to do, because then life happened.
Yeah.
So it's livable, but I actually spent like a week and a half until yesterday in a hotel because of the deep freeze, because I've got heat, but it burns diesel, and it was getting down into the teens, and that's like down to about 35. I can certainly like just run the heat and put on a down comforter and be good, but no, 15, no.
Yeah. What state are you in? Virginia?
I'm in Texas.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting you guys are getting that kind of cold down there.
Well, I mean, part of the reason that I got the van in the first place was because of what the shit that we went through in 2021, where, it was below freezing for over a week.
Yeah.
And, like, I was boiling ice and snow on my gas stove that I was manually lighting just to keep the temperature above freezing in my apartment. So at that point, I decided, you know what? I can't really rely on the grid, and I have to figure out something else. And so then, when the rent hike came, I was like, all right, I've already been looking into solar, and now I can't afford to live in fixed housing, so let's go ahead and do this.
Yeah. Are you happy with being in there instead of the apartment kind of thing?
I wouldn't say I'm happy.
Just making the best of the situation kind of thing?
I mean, I've saved like 90 grand at this point, so there's that.
That's nice for sure.
But no, I am looking to get out of this situation. It was what I needed to do at the time, but I believe that it's kind of hit its expiration date.
Yeah, I get that.
Are you close to a major city?
I'm in Austin.
Okay. Do you have a pad split? Do you know about that?
Not familiar with the term.
Okay, it's an online site. It's just rooms weekly. And from what I was reading, most people, they live in a pad split room they rent for about 8 months, and then they graduate to, traditional housing.
Right. Well, I have an income problem right now.
Gotcha.
As in the lack thereof.
Yeah.
I was working for a trade publication covering federal grants for green energy projects and infrastructure. And unsurprisingly, last January 20th, I got laid off.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out there is no market for experienced journalists. Even, the problem is the large corporations, which I wouldn't work for anyway, they want to put people with like a year of experience into roles that used to ask for 10 because they're cheaper. And people who are in their 40s, we're just considered too expensive, and we're going to be pains in the ass because we know how journalism is supposed to go, as opposed to this bullshit that is clicks and politics and shit like that.
Why don't you pick a niche and just start doing like podcasting or talk about like your journalistic shit? Like you can, you're probably good at researching and reading documents and doing whatever, I'm assuming. So why don't you just
I'm decent at that. What I have been doing for the past 2.5 years is I have been moderating the U.S. news community on a Lemmy site, which has been really nice. I mean, basically, I got to decide what the rules were going to be, and I basically threw us back to A1 in 1998.
Okay.
So if it makes you feel anything, if it is predicting the future, blah, blah, blah. No, that's not news. It does not belong here. Go the fuck away.
Okay. So just current news, basically, like modern?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like, and I've been very clear that, like, technology news, no reason to put it here. We have a technology community.
Sure. Yeah.
So, like, I'm trying to, like, make sure that I'm curating as much as I'm curating more than I'm an asshole, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're just being the middleman, basically, between
the
consumer and the company or whatever, the website.
But the website's a non-profit. I mean, it's on the Fediverse. It's and I have grown to know the admins to a certain extent over the past couple of years. And when I stumbled into running this community, it just so happened that like 3 weeks after I joined there, they were splitting US News off from World News because they hadn't done that yet. And so they needed a new moderator. And I was like, all right, well, all I can offer is 15 years on the copy desk at daily U.S. newspapers.
What about TV production? Did you have any exposure to that?
Oh, no. I can't stand TV news.
Gotcha.
Well, it's just, it wastes my time.
They don't have no time to even go into again. It's just snippets. That's the thing about like, that's the reason why like the legacy media is dying, because they can only do talks for like 3 to 5 minutes. They have to go on commercials. So like, how much can you really get into depth on a topic in 3 to 5 minutes? Probably not. Especially when you're talking about like immigration. Like these are big topics. Like takes a long time to talk about to actually get to any like common ground or thought process, and you expect people to do it in, like I said, 3 to 5 minutes. You need to
and I can read 40 inches of copy in 3 to 5 minutes. I can get the full story. I don't need you bloviating.
For sure.
Well, what about okay, so yeah, the quick thing isn't for you. What about like do you have Austin like documentary production?
You're still insisting that I should be in video for some reason. I have no experience in that area.
Okay, no, I was just curious.
I mean, I shot porn, but
yeah.
I mean, who
has? All you need is a webcam and a mic, talk, and then whatever I'm saying. Like, I'm saying like I guess my point was like you're probably good at researching, so like you could probably research these things.
Oh, you guys are trying to fix his life?
No, I was just saying. It's something I tell you too. I tell you too all the time, Brandon. Like
Yeah, I
honestly, like,
know.
all these ideas and stuff. Like honestly, just talking to him.
I'm
like,
figuring
on
it
fucking
out.
internet.
We're getting
So
it.
maybe eventually.
We're
someone
getting
tells
it.
you.
We're getting it. I know. I'm just kidding.
I'm just saying, but like all it takes is the right motherfucker to see it, and then it's like anything. You can
Yeah, no, you're right. I have to write a good script, sort of, maybe. Yeah, because I can't. My organic navigation or whatever is just weird. Not really weird, but
yeah,
hard to follow out of context.
because my whole
I
thing
try
is
to
I like people because I'm saying like I'm
make
guessing
shit more
because he has a
accessible.
journalist background. I'm saying because he's probably good at research and all this shit. I feel like he's a person that if he were to go on the topic and make like a 20-minute video, whatever the fuck, it would be mostly factual based instead of being misinformation. And we need more people out there that are spreading actual facts instead of misinformation. Like that's how we change the world, because that's the world we live in right now is all disinformation. So
that's why I got into journalism in the first place.
Oh.
Yeah, I second that notion. It's important to spread knowledge and spread well-guided information. These spheres, whatever skills that you have to offer in that direction, we kind of have an implicit duty to do that.
The whole reason that I got into the field, I didn't intend to. As I said, I was a computer science major. But I was in my dorm room with my roommate, and he had the TV on, and a story came up about affirmative action. And basically, the framing of it was such that this black guy got a job, even though all these other white guys were way more qualified. And I was like, you have got to be fucking kidding me.
I know.
And so I, having never written anything outside of a class project, ended up writing 6 pages, double-spaced, but 6 pages. And then I showed it to all my friends, and then I was like, okay, I need to show this to more people. And then I walked into the paper, and then I was like, oh shit, I actually need to take this over.
Yeah, I think that's kind of why people do like a lot of like the social media shit or like make YouTube videos and stuff, is that they see that people are kind of fucking up in that area, so they try to fill a hole, you know.
Yeah, and what seems immensely valuable right now is just having that good critical eye. If you can do moderation, that's so valuable. If you can have a good logical fallacy sniffer, if you can detect when people are committing biases or delving into their own opinions or defaulting into their own confirmation biases and things like that, that is invaluable today, is what I'm trying to say. And if you can create some kind of discussion area with your skills involved there, that might be helpful. I'm kind of saying this to myself too. We're not trying to like tell you what to do or anything or fix your life.
No, that's everybody here.
It's just I'm trying. I'm really trying to do that myself, and I'm struggling to get that down on my own channel. I'm not trying to talk about my own problems here, but
no worries. And I mean, I've got people around who are kind of helping me. I've got a network. I am part of the burner community here in South Central Texas, and that can be a really useful resource from time to time.
the burner community, what is that?
Burning Man. So
word.
radical self-expression and self-reliance, shit like that.
That's sweet. I always wanted to go to Burning Man.
Oddly enough, I have a connection to that. I used to have an e-bike company, and so many people wanted to rent my e-bikes for that.
Oh, that's a terrible idea on the playa.
Right? Yeah, I was saying no because I knew my bikes were going to be ruined.
Here, we're returning your bike with fine sand.
Yeah.
No, I've felt very lucky. As I said, I've been homeless for a couple of years now, and as it turns out, the place that I park happens to be like an 8-minute walk from the local Burning Man warehouse. So every week I can go hang out with people and pretend that I'm not in, solitary confinement.
Yeah. I mean, everyone needs you still need your social being.
Yeah, I'm stupid enough that I've hung out with my ex-wife like twice in the past 6 weeks.
Dude, people need contact, man. I don't know.
It's true.
Yeah, we need contact.
That's all it is.
That's what I'm saying. We're social creatures. Like, no matter what, you're still gonna need people. Like
familiarity, dude. Safety.
I love your town, your city. I love Austin. I actually thought about moving there pretty seriously a couple years ago.
Yeah, I wish we could have had Carlos on. I sent him an invite to this chat. He's also in Austin, Texas.
Oh yeah. Why don't I fucking send invites to Carlos much? I think because he just doesn't talk much. I always forget.
What's your favorite hang there? Is it
you act like I've ever had enough money to do much in town. I moved here to work for a newspaper hub, and I started off at $37,000 a year in 2015 with $1,350 rent.
Got it.
Now, that's not... I mean, I could have gone cheaper, but I also had my ex-wife and her 2 kids, so we had to get a house instead of an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was also a half hour away from my job because that's the only place we could afford. So, yeah, no, I've never really had a chance to explore the town because I've never had disposable income or proximity to most things that happen here.
Do you feel like you're safe there?
Like my specific parking spot?
Yeah, because if it's
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've been here for over a year. The cops know I'm here. The business I'm parked by knows I'm here. So long as I don't make a mess or cause a problem or make a lot of noise, everyone's fine with what's going on.
Yeah.
Which is kind of sad because I would like to, have little raves here, but yeah, I don't really want to risk being able to park here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Get a property. I thought about going on a couple acres of property with some people in like Southern Virginia, and you can get pretty good deals in some areas. You just got to maintain it, and some people will get a lot of acres, and they'll just throw festivals a few times a year and pay for it that way, basically. Or they'll be doing other things on the side. Like that's one of the big sources of income for them. Like farmers will do that too. Sometimes farmers will rent out their property for like a weekend or whatever, like a 3 or 4 day festival. And then I went to one of those once, and it's like the ground is very, very lumpy and very dangerous for your ankles if you're tripping. And yeah, that can be a thing to watch out for. But yeah, usually that goes well because people in those communities really care about the just peace, love, unity, and respect. PLUR and that whole acronym. So they'll clean up after themselves and maintain the property well.
Oh yeah. I mean, when we do regionals, there's the expectation that you are not going to leave any trace. But then after that, volunteers scour the entire grounds and make sure that everything's been picked up.
Yeah. That's how that goes at a lot of more mainstream festivals too.
It's funny to me that Plur is beyond just the rave community, because that's the first place I heard it, and I didn't realize that was a hippie thing and a burner thing. And
since the 60s, yeah. That's all. Yeah. I mean, like the console, is way.
All right, y'all. Well, I think I'm fading for the evening, but this was a fun hangout, and I'm glad I got the invite to the server.
Hell yeah.
Yay!
Hell yeah, dude.
It was good talking to you.
Yeah, dude.
I'll catch y'all later.
Okay.
Yep.
Have a good one, bro.
Sleep tight.
I will certainly try.
Good luck.
Hell yeah. Deep sleep.
All right. Rem.
Feel the world fall into you. Dude, I want the deep sleep so bad.
That's good. I had that last night. All 4 room
3
cycles.
nights ago. 3 nights ago for me, I went to bed at like 8 p.m. and I slept till like 7 a.m. I was like, oh man, I needed that. Like,
Fuck yeah, dude.
I basically never sleep. I try to go to bed at like 1 o'clock and it's always like 2:33. I'm like, fucking A. Why am I awake? I've worked nights my whole life. I switched like 3 years ago once the kids started going to school and activities after school and shit. So it's hard for me to be a day lifer even now. Like I still just can't fully change.
Yeah, dude. Dude, like I got so much energy right now. I gotta be up like 4 or something.
I know I'm saying because you've been a night owl most of your life. I'm assuming that's the problem. That's what I'm saying.
Energy, dude. Just I got weed at like 9 o'clock, and I wanted to smoke.
That's definitely part.
Yeah, I'm actually staying occupied while stoned all day.
Oh man, I enjoy being a fucking nerd, dude. This
fun.
has been a fun journey, dude. Yep.
Well, again, it goes back to
finding a resonance.
We're trying to form a better like idea.
Well, it's simple shit. This is all simple shit.
Well, just the platform. Like I said, we got to get a unified platform. Like all of our ideas.
Yep.
Like eventually, we got to formulate all these ideas into like one cohesive. Like here's our 10-point plan to make the world better, and let's all start sharing this shit around. And fucking.
I try to say it's simple, so it's like we humble ourselves. So it's like none of this shit is complicated. Like once we, I mean, because everybody's sort of teetering toward the same like curvature that we're at.
Sure.
We're just passion.
That's a good thing. But again,
exactly.
But passion needs to be put. My whole point is always passion needs to be put in the right spot. Like if you just have passion, again, it's not gonna be productive. We need to have a.
That's when it gets reductionist and miss the fucking whole picture. Yep.
Put passion into practice.
What was it?
To put passion into practice. I can speak words.
Oh, okay.
I
gotta learn more cognitive science.
It's tough, man.
It's like I'm inventing a lot of shit that's like cognitive science. Not inventing, but
no,
you know.
It doesn't matter. It's the thought process and the idea. Like I get your overall idea is what you're getting at.
Yeah, like I'm just
terminology or whatever the fuck, but who cares? Like
I just spin outward on my own, like that's my whole thing.
I get it.
Yeah, it is pretty simple. I've had this thought a few times. We've had these discussions, and a lot of what we go over is kind of the basics. We just keep describing it in another language, and part of me gets discouraged because of that. But and actually, a large part of me gets quite existentially depressed because of that. But that's another thing. I mean,
we're all like
keep going. Like we have to organize it, and also join with other pre-existing projects. The society.
The way I look at becoming, sorry, because I just wanted to get this out. The way I look at becoming is that we're all sort of circling a 0 point. That's all it is. It's all this ego stuff is really just serving to keep us from zooming out.
Yeah, I mean, because the combinatorial explosion aspect of the brain's, efficiency mechanisms, it's really trying to keep its world small and simple. It's really trying to reduce the world. Like we're naturally reductionists, I guess, is the thing. So like we say we're in the age of scientific reductionism or whatever, but like we
need to be sorry, I keep cutting you off. I don't know what the fuck that is.
Oh no, you're good. No,
because I'm stoned, right? Reductionist. We need to be reductionistly holistic. So like try to use the leanest architecture across the greatest amount of space. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That sounds, dude. That's meta modern as shit, right? I don't know.
Yeah, dude. That's yeah, and we need to simplify metamodernism too. Like most people don't realize the degree to which they're in postmodernism, or the degree to which they're affected by it.
We're undoing binaries. That's what it is. But also integrating. I don't know. It's
we have to do that as much as possible too.
Yeah. I feel like Carlos probably has. Well, there's a thing with the vectors though, because like that's why you need like a whole group of polymaths is to cover all the vectors. That's what it is. Like all the vectors in all the semiotic regions. Like every word sign that flips from one word to another, you know, that can refer to the same thing, it's used toward a different audience or something, you know. That's we look at everything in shades of gray from like on a one-dimensional axis instead of, you know, I mean, you know about this stuff probably, Patrick. Yeah.
I mean, I mean, using the axes is also one of the things that you can present to people of different learning styles. Like a lot of people get a lot out of the XY axis, where you see like a lot of political depictions of that, where it's like far left, far right in this corner, and like other perspectives here, where it's kind of like certain political leaders, like you'll just have their face here and here and here. Like for certain philosophers, I see it a lot with philosophers, like they fit into these areas. And like some are like in the middle in these boxes.
Sure.
That's really good. That doesn't resonate with me as immediately as it does for other people, it seems. But the more of that we can do, I mean, AI can certainly help with that. I've used AI for creating these graphs already, and it makes it. It just does it for you. Like you just tell it, here's what I want you to depict, and it does it accurately. And if it doesn't, then you just get it to do it accurately.
I think that most people are in the middle, and that's kind of even with like philosophy and shit. Like whenever you subscribe to one whole philosophy idea, whatever, you're probably going to be wrong because every version of everything has flaws in it. But you're supposed to take the best out of all these things. That's where, again, going back, if there's like 14 philosophy people in the middle, that they probably represent most of the people in the world compared to the ones on the fringes. They probably represent a small minority. Those are probably more extreme, one political party, another party, whatever the fuck, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah, we have to meet people in the middle, and maybe using those kind of graphs can show them that, like, how they're already in the middle and they don't realize it.
Well, the thing is, like, I don't know, like, again, when you talk to people online, people are so far right, left, whatever the fuck kind of thing. But like, whenever I talk to people, I can get people to agree, like, ICE is going too far. Whatever, like, there is concessions people make. Again, showing that people in real life, I think, tend to be more in the middle versus their persona is, I gotta own the libs or I gotta fucking make fun of MAGA or whatever the fuck, you know, like, again, I don't know, like, also you need compromise. The only way you're gonna work together in any kind of legislation way is to compromise, and you have to meet in the middle. You can't just be far left, far right, and think you're gonna get everything you want, because most people aren't that way, you know, like, it's just gotta get
most people aren't far right.
No.
You have to show them how they have more in common with the people that they oppose, that they think that they oppose. They realize.
Sure. And it goes both ways. Like, obviously, like, if you're super far left, let's say, right, whatever the fuck, like, you probably should be more hard on criminals. Like, there's things that you should probably concede, like, these are probably not bad. Like, those are your right-wing ideas, like, we should come down on, like, rapists and shit. Like, I think people should probably agree with that, even though it's more of a right-wing idea. And like the left-wing people, like, we should probably have better fucking social safety nets and shit, right? Like, that's a very liberal left idea, but like, we should be able to sway people that way to like on that issue, and then again you come down to the middle and try to patch out a better version of America that we can have instead of this fake ass version that we have right now where everything's so extreme one way or another. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to show people a more positive view of the world. That seems also incredibly valuable.
We got to somehow be able to, there's got to be a way to make money off being good or like showing good things, because that's like I said, we're currently with Facebook or all the social medias, it's saying outrageous bad things that's going to get you the fucking clicks, right? Like we got to somehow be able to make it like monetarily good to be like, oh, look at these people helping each other and shit, and somehow that's got to get 1 million clicks or 1 billion clicks, you know, like we got to rewire people looking at good things, not just always the worst.
Yeah, the rewiring, that seems like a uphill battle, but necessary, incredibly necessary. I mean, I worry about this way too much. I don't
really feel too concerned about learning more and more to cooperate better and better with other working class people, but you know, I don't see any way around the fact that we're in a power struggle with the Epstein class, you know?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Again, why are we redacting like this email was from whoever to Jeffrey Epstein? It's like, oh, I authorize you to put a hit on somebody. Like, why is that name being redacted? You're supposed to redact the victims' names and the people that got abused, not who's doing the abusing. Like, that's what we want to see. Like, and they're literally covering it up, and you can see it live. And again, like, I was hoping more people would break away from this MAGA movement over this shit. Like, don't you see that you're literally being lied to on this topic? And this is like a big topic we all agree on. Like, again, it comes down to if Bill Clinton and whoever is else on it, fuck him. I don't care. Like, you know, like this is like the worst heinous crime in the world.
I want to say that there's formula to be constructed for every political theory. I mean, that's kind of an obvious statement. I'm trying to get back to what Brandon was getting at, the trajectories and just the way that these frameworks and these logical formalisms can be put together for the population, for the general public, and for political leaders to embrace and benefit from. That also can be made easier by AI, but I mean, most people don't know how those work, I'm afraid, and the like when it comes to formalisms, or when it comes to a logical formalism with all of its variables, there's naturally going to be excluded variables or ones that are held more primary over the other. And yeah, I was wondering what you thought about that too, Abby. Like if maybe you guys could work together on something like that. Carlos could definitely contribute to that as well. Or just what I'm saying is like combining these formalisms, combining these models for democracy and for political structures, and finding which one does the least harm. There are projects that are doing that now online. I mean, there are projects trying to do that, searching for information and finding the most beneficial information too. But that's another topic. But yeah.
Yeah, there's 29 people in the Communist League of Richmond.
Oh,
and we don't all agree on everything. But 2 years ago we were 6 people.
Whoa.
Yeah, so we're like, you know, all of us together are doing exactly that, right? It's like practicing democratic centralism together and practicing criticism and self-criticism together. And right now our main focus is building the labor movement in Richmond. And, you know, my main focus is the like anti-prison abuse stuff. But it's like partially within or under CLR's work. I consult with them and update them, and they help when they can, kind of thing. But not every group needs to be like a democratic centralist cadre organization. There are like lower levels of organization and higher levels of organization, but anytime you get into even a mass organization that's just like a random, like, any nonprofit really, like, unless, well, I don't know about nonprofits because they tend to be more corporate structured, but a lot of the sort of like left formations that you see are explicitly practicing like prefigurative politics together,
Mm-hmm.
That's great to hear. What do you think sparked that? Do you think it was Trump with that timing of 2 years ago, or what do you think sparked that boom?
Well, what sparked our organization's growth and development was, I guess, a lot of it maybe had to do with the political climate, but we, you kind of just have to decide that that's what you want to do as an organization and build out the structures. We've got a communications working group, an education working group, an organizing working group, and an admin working group. And, each person is in a maximum of 2 working groups, and each working group has a secretary and a deputy secretary. And there's like a joint secretariat where the 8 secretaries and deputy secretaries meet. And that kind of acts as like the metabolism across groups at the high level. We're figuring it out. We're building it out. We just had last Sunday a big meeting with everybody who could make it. I think there was 25 of us. We met in a union hall from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. and planned out our strategy and tactics for the next year. It's fascinating. It's like, it's really, so it's like if we're talking about doing something similar in here. I mean, yeah, yes. The thing is, we learn through practice. So,
Mm-hmm.
That's important. That's so important to remember. Give up something from practice. Yeah. It's it helps when you have other people that are on board, like united around the same mission. And that mission's obvious. I mean, the more politically impactful it is, it seems to drive more motivation too, I think. With psychology, it's like people, I don't think they see the impact of pop psychology, of academic crumbling. That's the wrong word to use, but just the rapidly changing political atmosphere in academia. I think people are they're aware that there's change going on. I don't think they're aware of how rapid it is and how impactful it is. They kind of just default to one ideology or another. But I mean, yeah, we have to bring clarity to that. But it has to be at all levels. It has to be at the high levels of these, the theorists in academia, the people that are trying to put together a formula for political advancement, for creating cohesion with what has worked in the past and what hasn't worked. Yeah, the better we can do to create those kind of maps for people, I think that's going to benefit tremendously. We all have something to contribute in that way.
Sorry, I've been really distracted. What did I just type? Our ways of thinking are common by default. We're just far too zoomed in without seeing in further axes and focus on minute deviations. With the movements, we make outpace the original deviations recursively, but this is what leads to higher perspectives. I don't know what that vibes. Or if that seems basic.
It's little curly cues.
Exactly.
Little spiral development curly cues.
Yeah. Exactly. Curly cues. It's exactly what I visualized. What the fuck? See? Exactly. Exactly. Proving my fucking point. Like people picking the same number, like from 1 through 10 or whatever.
Yeah, Amilcar Cabral, who was a socialist leader in Guinea-Bissau, he wrote a text called "The Weapon of Theory," and in it he used the phrase "the curlies of history." So if you like think about that like iterative model, but you think about it at the level of like world history and like that spiral development, that's the curlies of history.
Yeah, see, it's like sort of like it's like Carlos would call it like symbol first, sort of. I don't know. My word would be apprehension of a phenomenon. You know, like definitely extended over time. You know, like you see the loop right before, rather than the symbol to symbol, or like the feeling to feeling, like, or you know, string to string, sort of movement and of thought. You know. And I don't know, I'm thinking of like semiotics too, and like iconography, you know, like that's, I don't know if that's like a real thing, but like the icon, you know, like you know, like where the sign contains the referent in some sense, you know. In some, you know, like outline.
There's a guy named Paulo Freire. I think he's dead now, but he was a Brazilian radical and teacher. And he wrote a book called Pedagogy of the Oppressed, and he talked about he didn't use the language of semiotics, but he talked about the difference between like the banking model of education, and I forget what the other model is called, right? But the banking model would be like teachers standing at the front of the class and projecting into the students, right? And the students are like blank slates or like bank accounts, and he's depositing value in the form of knowledge into them, right? So he's the subject, the teacher is the subject, and the students are the object, right? And he's like, this is a incorrect, that's not how knowledge works, right? It doesn't do the curlies, you know. And so like instead he's like the better way of like what he calls popular education is think about like people sitting in a circle and looking at like a holographic globe, say, for like history class, right? Where the object of analysis is in the center, and everyone else is like learning about it together, right? And so the teacher is more like a facilitator than you know, like a lecturer. And so in that case, then the teacher is a subject with the students, and the students are each also teachers' subjects, right? And so the object of analysis is the thing in the middle, and so like we're implicitly accounting for the different faces of the signs because everyone's looking at it from all the different angles together and discussing it, you know. So it's like that elephant problem, right?
That's a great metaphor too.
Absolutely. Yep.
That reminds me of something I wanted to discuss for future formats too, for discussion. There's this word I'm hearing people use. It's a term called the random walk. So this describes an approach for conversation where it's like you're describing it. It's very participatory. No one's doing any declaration or professing in any way that's opinionated. It's like you're discovering together, and you're doing it as a random walk through the knowledge landscape. You're exploring this without biases.
Random walk. I think I know what that is. What was that from originally?
Is it probably
it's sort of like a mathematical thing? I think, right? I don't remember what it was.
Yeah. It's also like using biology thing.
It's fucking weird, man.
Ideal process. And there's also dialectic into dialogos. That's an approach that is really ancient. I forget. Might have been Parmenides that wrote about that. But yeah, John Vervaeke has resurfaced that practice, and he has that depicted on video. It's like 4-person project where you have
what's like a certain axes of. I'm trying to figure out how all this shit maps in terms of like sine faces and vectors and direct, because it's all like it starts with opposition, but it spirals, right? That's how it's. But we're, so like, what's our overlapping semiotic region exactly? Like that is everything implicit and explicit to our communication, basically.
Right. Oh, so in biology and in mathematical models, so yeah, in biology, a random walk is a mathematical model of simulating the movement of organisms, cells, or molecules through a sequence of random, unpredictable steps. So we use these scientific methods to analyze how life moves and how organic life.
It's like it fills a space, right? Kind of, and it attracts around. Well, it doesn't attract if it's random, but so it's like a pattern. Process. Just a pattern that I don't know emanates through the system or whatever.
That's what we want to imitate. Like, so they call it just a stochastic process, often used to describe diffusion. Helps explain how particles or creatures navigate without a fixed direction, with applications ranging from foraging behavior to intracellular transport. That's where I've been hearing this so much. It's Michael Levin. He talks about this all the time in the way his crazy xenobot experiments work, where you have freaking thyroid cells just, when given no external stimuli, start navigating together and like grouping up and creating. I think they replicate in some cases, but it's like they don't create, but they discover ways of movement or whatever. Like they have little flagella, and they use those to do lots of different kinds of problem solving. Yeah. So we want to try to imitate that. Like that's very like seeking the intelligence of the ether or the substrate or whatever, like we've been talking about a bit off and on. And it's like we just struggle because we have all this agency, and we take credit for our ideas when most of the time our ideas just pop out of the ether, and you know how that goes. Yeah,
trying to get like the center of gravity right, like I think that's like the first, like a good first step for like an anchor for any complete systems theory, like I think semiotics is kind of key to pinning all this shit together, and then like you got the dialectics part too, and I don't know what happens when you get like once multiplicity answers the picture exactly, like how different poles interact, especially depends with like 3+ or whatever.
Yeah, it just depends on each different situation, right? Whatever there are like structurally determinant contradictions, but there's like bubbles of agency within that structure,
It's like so where does all the meaning flow? Like I'm wondering, and then like what layers, like in what directions?
Well,
basically,
I don't know. We can sort of trace the circulation of knowledge as a commodity in the same way that we can trace the circulation of like any other commodity, right? So if like I don't want to do a one-to-one conflation of meaning with like fiscal value, But I do think that the like overall metabolism of fiscal value, of like monetary and like resource value, has a correlative relationship with not meaning, but with the production of knowledge and with access to knowledge, right? And so if you think about like there are political and financial like determinants for what, I mean, you know, to be explicit, right? Like intellectual property laws prevent certain people from like accessing certain knowledge and certain technologies. And that if that is one of the structurally determining things keeping a specific nation poor, then the meaning of that for that nation, right, is to overcome those structural determinants, right? So it's like the meaning is in a way determined by the macro moment, you know, but each like person within, if you think about like the whole world as like a contradictory and like multifaceted thing, but that nevertheless has like an overall flow of unequal exchange from like one pole to another. You know, like, yeah, we can that's, I think, where semiotics comes in, you know, is who's controlling the media, who's influencing the media, who's determining what textbooks, who's determining what schools, and like whether there's infrastructure to get to school, all of that, right? And so if you're in,
well, I mean,
on
also
one side or the other of that, then that's going to determine what meaning that situation has for you, you know?
Well, like also in the mind though, right? Because like it's like the directions we move, like from the sign relative to other areas in the field that we could be moving and on what level, you know. It's kind of what I mean. Like, okay, so how do we predict movements is kind of what I mean, right? Or yeah, I mean, right now we're closed within like a postmodern capitalist realism, kind of. For a lot of, I mean, we can't even get like an accurate perception of the general named dissatisfaction with capitalism, or like just the overall structure, the power structure, the Epstein class. Because that I mean that as a sort of cultural like body, like an assembly, like that's something. I mean, that is basically like a leech on the system, like that circulating sort of structure, right? That is basically what it is. It feels like it is a structure that fuels behavior, right? Continued behavior. It's a structure of behavior and reception. You know, there is a semiotics to these people's, you know, because like, I mean, I think everything is just meaning. You know what I mean? Like, so it moves from one point to another, one node to another. You know, and it can loop or spiral or whatever. So, and you can allow yourself to be taken into this, you know, the liminal space of the thought, or you can take in the bigger picture. You know, it depends on how much it dysregulates you or whatever, how much it forces you into that left hemisphere.
Yeah, well, like, you know, I guess a pertinent question here is like, what meaning does a redacted pile of Epstein files have?
Yeah.
You know, and who's determining that? Who's determining, like you were saying earlier, like whose names get redacted and whose don't? You know, in the case of like prison abuse, who determines whether a grievance that a prisoner filed was adequately exhausted before it even reaches the judge? You know. So there's like institutions that govern and monopolize meaning making. And so then that like naturally pits some of us against those meaning making institutions. You know, like that's what Uproar, the anti-prison abuse group, is doing. Is we're very explicitly fighting a battle of narrative, and fighting a battle of credibility. You know,
their meaning system encloses people within the space that they approach them with, like physically, like concretely. You know, it's like, yeah, it's like a forced like obedience and closure within the sort of like collage, or not collage. It's like a tapestry of their life, you know. But it's just contained to the concrete, kind of, unless an issue comes up where they have to think deeper and expand their structure or break it down.
We got in Virginia in November, a prison guard was killed for the first time in over 50 years.
Crazy.
By a prisoner.
Oh,
and
shanked?
Yeah, yep, he knifed him. Yeah. They had been on and off lockdown. They started this thing that is collective punishment, but it's not called collective punishment. It's called like just an incentive program. But if one person in the pod breaks a rule, then everybody in the pod suffers the consequences, and everybody might lose their phone for a week, or their visits for a week, or for a month. And so, you know, that's going to create internal pressures that didn't previously exist, and it's going to encourage the prisoners to police each other. And so it's going to cause fights and strife. Basically, the system is like offloading the responsibility of policing onto the prisoners, knowing that it's going to be brutal and violent. And so that was the situation that had been going on for all of September, all of October, and half of November by the time this guard got killed. And of course, they gave him the Charlie Kirk treatment, right? I mean, like there was yeah, I mean they turned him into a hero. They lionized him, you know, and it turns out that like the Department of Corrections is trying to get out of paying benefits to the widow of the officer. And so she now has pitted herself against the same institution. And because they've shown her, like, you know, like, we don't care about you, you know? And so she messaged our page and was talking about, like, her husband and how he was a good person and how DOC did him wrong, you know? And I'm like, well, I can agree that, you know, DOC did him wrong and did you wrong, because like if like they were understaffed and pressuring him to do beyond his duties, and they had also trained him to like be violent, right? But she didn't see that side of him. It's like he's a different sign for her, right? It's a totally different frame of reference for her, right? So like, I mean, you know, I told her like he, his nickname inside the prisons among the prisoners was the Sniper, because he apparently enjoyed shooting people with rubber bullets, you know. And it's like, I understand that you didn't get to see that side of him, but like I know it to be true, you know. And so like I was just actually on a phone call the other day with the guy who stabbed him. He called one of the members of our group, but he's actually not allowed to use the phone. And so the person in the cell next to his used the phone and held it up to the vent so he could hear us through the phone and we could hear him through the phone. And we haven't published it yet, but he went into detail about what he did and why. and he explicitly named the abusive, oppressive conditions and the abusive behaviors of that specific guard, right? And so he apparently didn't bring that behavior home, and she got to see like a sweet, lovable teddy bear, But this guy was a paramilitary enforcer, It's crazy. Just like to talk about like contradictory semiotic regions and signs, that's a major turning it's like a major node for me right now is this whole controversy.
Right, yeah. I mean that's a very worthy cause, man. Fucking that's so garbage. I can't believe that shit can happen to people, dude, and just nothing happens to them. These people.
It's crazy.
Like this it's like a parasitic system. Like this, yeah. It's just they're two different poles, just flat out like not with the same teleology at all.
Yeah, so like how do you know what I mean? Like how do they compromise? You know what I mean? Like because the administration is refusing to fix any of these issues, and some perhaps they can't, but they're like they have narrative dominance, so they get to pretend like they're the heroes and the victims. It's the craziest shit.
Yeah, dude. Like, yeah, the bipolarity, dude. Like, God, it's fucking insane. It's like they just can't wrap around, or I don't know, man. It's fucking insane. It's like it's just like a dimension. It's literally like a dimensional thing, like flat out. Dimensions of thinking, like in relations between semiotic regions. Like I feel like television had a huge effect, flat out, and propaganda through television, and in the semiotics, like whatever is most salient on TV comes to sort of structure people's like system, of nodes and shit. Like I don't know.
Churches too, and not to talk shit about churches, right? But like baseball teams too, like if your softball team is like collecting donations for Israel, you know what I mean? Like that has an effect.
Or fucking if you're paying to fucking cover up pedophile shit, right? That should probably be like a thing in your brain, like, hey man, I probably shouldn't support these people anymore, right?
Yeah.
Billions of dollars goes to cover up kid shit, and they're like, yep, I'm gonna keep giving them money. Like that's so crazy to me.
No, with like dialectics, are you just sort of starting at the structural level first and then zooming in? Is that what it is? Or how would you frame it?
No, you kind of have to identify the particular and the general simultaneously, right? You have to like so you start with the basic cell. So like the most common everyday relation, and you find the contradictory elements within those relations, right? But then you like pause and zoom out and get whatever your picture is of the large picture, right? And you try to connect the dots, but you trace outward, right? So like if in Capital, the Marx's big thing was like fucking a couple yards of linen, not Lenin, but linen, and so that was the commodity that he chose, and basically he started from the commodity not as an item but as like a crystallization of social relations, right? How much labor went into it, how much resources went into it, where did those resources come from, who controls all of it, right? And so all of those questions arise as soon as you start from that basic smallest cell. So it's actually backwards, right? You start from the smallest cell, but you also have to situate it within the totality.
Yeah, and it's all systems theory. Yeah, so I mean, I guess reducing things to the science sort of puts everything on like the same playing field, or it's like it puts it within the same, like, I guess, categories. Like it's like everything just becomes categories, and then it's very much a category based approach, yeah. Which categories are but sort of one way of thinking, right? But my way of thinking, I guess, is sort of it's ideology centered, and then like that's what I'm sort of covering a lot of in psychology, and where it enters, the field, the totality is sort of, it's like mapping back and forth between psychology and structures and how things flow, like but integrating everything into a single sort of system. That's a question to think about. Is that good even? Is it possible? Can our semiotic regions align? Should they? Like, I don't know. But we adapt each other's language, and we sort of create a fold, right? We put them,
Yeah, well, I think if we set a practical goal of changing a real life relation, and then we work toward that using whatever frameworks we can pull together, the frameworks applicability or like effectiveness for that specific problem gets tested in the practice of it, right? And so if we're trying to come up with the set of abstractions first without having the practical goal first, then we're sort of stuck in space,
Yeah, so there's several approaches that you have to several different see, this comes to semiotics too, because it's like you're trying to integrate a whole clear lens. Like, clarity is a big part of it. Like, it's part of it, because really everybody's always escaping ideology in a way, right? Or I don't know if it feels that way to you at all. If you feel like your lens is complete, because everybody has their pressure points in life, right? Like, everybody has their direction and their identity, like. So everybody has their own direction in their way that they speak, because we are directed differently in life. So, like, that's just something that we always have to remember, right? We meet the dissonance with different frames, in different settings, with different semiotics. There are different ways that experience moves within us, or the way we bracket it, and the way we relate it, in what order, so on. I feel like an issue with holistic thinking is that you can never know precisely when you are thinking holistically, right? There's only little indicators, because you obviously can't know you are grasping the whole.
Yeah, there's the unknown unknowns, right?
The unknown unknowns.
Yeah. Oh, the interstitial points, dude. Interstitial. That's more vectors. Unlock new vectors, dude. What the fuck? Why is philosophy fun? I like it to be fun. If it's not fun, then it's like, work. Yeah. Dude, you got to fire on all frequencies, I think. Basically. Milk the fucking cow where you can. Whatever nipple offers itself to you.
Yeah, and sometimes you gotta take breaks or step back. I think that's just part of finding a balance too. Like, it takes time for people to find balance.
Yeah, like, I can tell, like, you gotta be like, careful with what you do with pleasure. You know what I mean? Like how you respond, and then pleasurable things. I feel like we could sort of tune like how much we take pleasure in things. Of course it's through psychoanalysis too, figure out what it is that's creating the conditions for pleasure and pain. And unveil further deeper structure.
Speaking of making philosophy fun, I just put in the chat something I made with DeepSeek the other day. It's explaining Mao's on contradiction through the diarrhea song.
Okay. Oh no, I saw this. No, yeah, dude, this is great. Yeah, it's fucking fantastic. Fucking awesome. Dude.
Looking at the world and see contradictions unfurl. Dialectics.
Yeah. I'm always looking for the synthesis, dude. So, like, I guess I'm like both semiotics and dialectics, but I don't know like the greater depths that you do, like structures that, because like I know these guys take pains to fucking sort of describe the structure in like where the dissonance does occur, based on probably semiotic shit, like balance between poles and structures or whatever, pain points, whatever.
You gotta check out Frederick Jameson. He's into semiotics and shit like that, but he's also a dialectician, so he does a good job of bringing them together.
Yep, it seems like dialectics, semiotics, psychoanalysis. That's that's the big picture. Plus, like you got like the information theory, like where does all this shit exactly pin together is my main question.
You mean information theory? Yeah, no. Okay.
It's stuff that all lines up. It's the semiotics is different, and like the intention. And a lot of the intention, well, I mean, so mathematics is partially a sport for people, right? It's basically a sport.
For some people.
Yeah. Like a lot of it. Which isn't a bad thing, but it's definitely a state of not taking the world seriously, right? It's putting one's brain. I mean, maybe they're meant for mathematics. I mean, because they've been conditioned such to, for that practice. I mean, I'm talking about like abstract mathematics, some people like Euler, and I mean, I guess Euler's had his application, just these dudes that are just fucking insanely smart, but it's all about, stroking the ego, kind of. Not to be an asshole, but it is, right? Or else it's like to look at the wonders of the universe, but that's also self-indulgent, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe some people are built for, I mean, like I've had my fucking mental health problems, like fucking borderline fucking agoraphobic. Like, I don't know, like I've been shit on by the system, like, so, I mean, I want to get more involved, but I think people should get more involved. People should take life more seriously instead of just as like a pleasure extraction.
For sure.
Fucking
you can't.
It's like
it's existentialist arguments to say otherwise. I always have to bring that up. Like I'm not trying to be a devil's advocate or whatever. Like I wrestle with this concept a lot because of the mental health awareness movement and neuroaffirmative care advocacy model or whatever.
We need community fucking care, and how do we
have the right to be free and not be told what to do? That's a conservative argument, and it's also a traditionalist conservative argument, to use that term.
It's just afforded to them. That's it.
It's been taken up by the postmodern mental health awareness activists who accidentally take it too far because of good intentions. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very like the existentialist argument to say don't infringe upon me existence precedes essence. I can choose my essence. I mean that undergirds a lot of the progress that we've made as a species in general. It undergirds the women's suffrage and civil rights movements, LGBTQ plus movements that have occurred, and
It's
we're navigating that. You know, like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Seems to be how that's been going.
Okay, so it's like the self has not become a discrete thing in the field. You know what I mean? Like, it is a comparative thing. It's not a, it's not a rounded out thing.
But it seems like on the surface, the self is very defined. In this culture that's baked in, the zeitgeist is like you are you.
Well, there's like the resonance aspect, right? Like, but it's like in the moment, it's like it's very fluid. Like everybody kind of knows what it's like to like be around people and like, you know, be right. You know what I mean? Like, but I mean not everybody, but you know, yeah. It's very resonance based. It's like you can kind of feel into the semiotics. Like it's like we do this shit automatically. This is why I'm like I fucking stress semiotics, because it's like we already think in terms of semiotics. We just don't know it. I think whenever we like even like when we approach like diagnosing our own thinking, you know, just all right, what am I? Oh, I'm being stupid. Okay, how do I adjust? You know, or something like that. You know, we're like, we're paying attention to this shit. I mean, maybe that's not semiotics, but we're like, oh, we're doing this and not that. You know, or whatever. At this point, oh, let's remember this when we do that. So it's like we're attaching nodes to another node. You know.
Your world model to guided practice.
Mm.
I sent you a link, Brandon, to Jameson's The Political Unconscious Narrative as a Socially Symbolic Act.
Oh, yes, dude. Like, this could definitely fill in some blanks for sure. It's definitely all I want is the fill in blanks, man. Swear to God, like, yeah. Whenever your intelligence gets into your ego, that's like, just like, I don't know what it is. Immaturity that you have to fucking shed, I swear to God. But it's protective though, right? So like, and it's also a projection into me, dude. It's so fucking stupid. But it's also like a sanity thing. I swear to God. Just from opposing the system and having to live within it. Because you're like in contact. You're always like internalizing.
Don't oppose it. That's what they accuse that's what the conservatives think about the liberals today, is that they hate America. You gotta find things to love about it while you critique it. Like, the reason that we're critiquing it is because we love it, because we see something that's worth preserving in this nation. We see something that is real, that people are trying to get at, that people are trying to vibe with and come together on. And we can't embrace that mindset of escapism and rejection. I think I'm telling this to myself as I'm saying this to you, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm trying to emphasize like a center. So everything sort of comes back to a central axis.
Yeah, and it's easy to see that doesn't exist, or that that's too hard to not find, and to get, I guess, like, it's also easy to get carried away in trying to find it. And I think I have that problem sometimes.
I'm sort of trying to relate it to like presence and like authenticity and shit in a way. As far, you know, so mapping the world to my center and then outward kind of thing, but then also the edges and back inward.
Yeah. And those edges, the boundaries can be really difficult to test. It can be very uncomfortable to find, and it can come at great cost. I think when you
yeah, you gotta have reinforcement in place. Always recognize signs of collapse or any of that kind of shit, whatever it is. Becoming ways one would not want to become.
Yeah. All the light. All your higher self.
After midnight, god damn.
It is after midnight.
That's some good weed.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get a better occupation.
Dude, I want some trips. God damn it.
Please.
Alrighty, I'm out for the night, y'all. Have a good one.
All right, boys.
All right, peace.
Much love.
Hell
Yeah, probably gonna dip too, man.
yeah. Sounds about time. Everyone's dipping out anyways. But it was always good talking to you, my brother.
Yeah, likewise, man. All right, be safe, man.
You too, bro. Peace out. On that note, I guess I'm done with my night.